All right. We should be live on YouTube at the correct channel on YouTube because sometimes it doesn't do that. And this was one of those times. And the best way to fix it is just to turn the whole stream off. So here we are. Don't worry about it.
Solution. I mean, that's how we got my camera working.
Yeah, that is. You are right. You are right. We just had to uninstall everything, reinstall everything, and then we were in a good spot. So also, is my microphone? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Microphone's fine. That's good.
You're chilling.
That's also good.
You're good.
Yeah. But yeah, we have Fusion World. I'm looking forward to it. You should look forward to it. Person who's watching this should be looking forward to it. And it should be a good time. 64 players, 6 rounds of Swiss, and on the online client, which has been doing really good, I think. It's been really fun to play the game.
Really, yeah. It's honestly, it is just one of those things where coming from games that typically don't have online clients and just moving back to something that does, it's just like a whole new world.
Man. It
is. You
is.
can just play games whenever. The economy could still use some work. I entered.
Hey, once you're rich, you're rich, man.
I know. I entered like 40 FB05 codes after playing all of the set with only 3 Goku secret rares, and then within those 43 packs, I got 3 more.
That's good money. That's good investment. That's fantastic.
Nonsense.
It's
for how we got there.
I do agree. Like my biggest qualm, like everyone has issues with it. I don't think that's an open secret at all. But the only balance for it is that like it's kind of like I think in other card games you have to pay X amount of money to get enough to build one deck. If you spend X amount of money, you can play every deck. Like that's kind of the thing. If you open 200 packs, you likely have enough cards for everything. Though I've definitely have already seen people like say, "Well, I've got 7 Friezas and 2 Gokus. Can I play the Goku deck with 2 Gokus?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can,
I mean,
but
you can, but you shouldn't." We're also getting the new season put us in a really good spot, I think, from a perspective of like new players getting in because the set 1 codes expired. They became suddenly very generous with the set 1, 2, 3 like just give out packs. Like basically every single thing you do in this game is going to net you some amount of positive interaction there.
Sure.
Where you're just like, all right, cool. I logged in for the day. I played 1 game. I got 1 of each pack. Is that going to change the math? Maybe not, but like even just the 1 or 2 extra packs, just every third one you open gets you a new SR. Like you're gonna get there eventually, or at least you're gonna get more extra SR. Dust is the wrong word. What are they? It's wild cards.
Wild cards, yeah, wild cards.
Yeah. So I think the economy is getting slightly better.
I think the only thing is that like both secret rares are generally 3 or 4 ofs, and they're both good, which means at least one, like if you get the other secret that you want, at least the other one's viable too, which has not always been the case. I'm sure you have like 10 of the Gohan secret rares that came with the SS4
other
Goku.
way around. I have. Oh, you mean the Vegito? No. I was thinking the other way.
Oh yeah.
I had the black one at like double god rare.
Oh sure.
1 alt.
Yeah.
But it was the red one, which of course is the deck that I actually like.
Yeah, which you're the most like red player that I know for this game.
Very backwards, but you know, life goes on. And the client just really has been working its magic of like almost making me want to spend a little bit of money to make sure that I get everything I need. Yeah. Because this new set, like, I actually don't think Frieza's that great of a card, but like I can't confirm that until I have 4.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think the consistency piece of it is simply too valuable for me to just go, oh yeah, well it can't be that good because like in my testing I don't see it on turn 4 every single game.
Yeah.
I see it
and you
sometimes.
Need to, right?
Yeah. So I think that's a big disconnect that we hopefully can see fixed soon.
So, but we are getting set up. We're trying to find our first match for you guys. Should be we have a single Zamasu player besides Dane in the server right now. So we're trying to find that match, but it looks like they are. Let me see if they give me 1 moment. Let me message we'll be literally right back. All right, cool. They are just setting up. They are just posting the codes. So, but yeah, there's one Zamasu player which I thought was pretty surprising because most people that I talk to are saying that Zamasu's in a really good spot. It's been getting incrementally better, I think, in the last couple sets. And it does have a new 4-drop Zamasu, which I'm sure you know about, right, Dane?
Oh yeah, the Zamasu fused. Play it if you have 7 or less. Give 5k to either you or your leader. Pretty all right card. I think it could have been slightly stronger. I don't think being a 5k is helping in its cause at all. But realistically, sometimes you're just flipped and you're like, yeah, I'm a 30k now.
Mm-hmm.
And your opponent just can't touch you. And like, because you're a control deck, there are also matches, and I've done this twice now in my like, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 games with this new Zamasu list. I've been a 35 for a cycle.
Sure.
And that's evil.
Yeah. 35
that's
is not not okay, I think, is safe.
Like while sitting behind blues, like Pilafs,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I managed to make one swing that's 40k, and they go, okay, here's the Gallic.
Yeah. And we do have the game now for you guys. So we're at turn 1. We've got the Janemba versus the Zamasu. So Janemba is one of the newer decks in this format, and yellow I think's tempted to be one of, if not the best color in this game right now. They got a lot of new tools in this one. Sorbet not being one of them, but we'll surely see some new tools in a little bit. Sure. Here, one second, Dan. I think it's not capturing your audio. Yeah, that's on me. 1 second. That is par for the course. That is par for the course. All right. It is. All right, Dane. Say something.
I can't believe the Zamasu just took a hit on turn 1 while having a
5k on the board. Yeah.
I'm a little shocked. Typically, Zamasu is played as the control deck of all the blues. Is like you trying to play as controlly as possible with the backup plan of if you get pushed in, you're at least like a 25k on the backside, can potentially regen.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're literally looking at the exact reason why. Although it's interesting, I don't. Maybe he must have drawn into the freezer, right? Otherwise, he would have just done it right away. Because now Zamasu
I think so. Yeah.
Into Sorbet. Oh, what is am I having a stroke? This is, I mean, if they've got a new way to play Zamasu, I want to see it. I really, really do.
Well, apparently it's draw just a bunch of cards. We played 2 more trunks, drew 2 more cards. We got a bunch of 5Ks out there. We're going 15k into the Janemba.
I don't think flipping Janemba that quickly is that big of a problem. If you were playing a more aggressive deck, there is some times where it's like, do you really want to flip Janemba on their turn 4? Oh my goodness, did I? No shot.
Yeah.
No way.
Have you not seen this build? Oh no.
No,
oh my.
I haven't, but like,
it's crazy. But this is a pretty bad matchup for it because, as we kind of mentioned, Zamasu turns into a 25k, and all these 20k bodies really don't like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I always felt like the Ginyu Force stuff was just okay. I know that this new Jace is certainly very powerful relative to where it's normally at. The Birder is okay. The Raccoon is whatever. But I mean, I just think about the fact that this leader does get this energy back and seeing how far that can go. Like, are we going to see like a 2-cost Ginyu here, get the 2 back, and then maybe play like a different 2 energy? I know that this 20k crit, I don't know if it's going to go through. Please combo a 10k. Thank you.
Yeah. You're looking at those 2 5Ks, right? Like please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't combo those 2.
Especially against yellow. Like that's prime real estate right there.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, just a
Interesting.
simple
There's
20.
like the Trunks from the starter deck, right? The Self Awakener.
Yeah.
Here comes the Ginyu to get some extra swings and pressure going. How does Janemba keep a hand like this though if the leader doesn't draw?
We do draw. We just have to pay 2.
Okay, so since the leader doesn't draw,
But we can pay 2 and then we untap the 2. So it's
I understand. I think that there is a lot of sequencing there. It's like, can you really justify that a lot of the times?
I do
Did
think
he
that
not
there
use
is like this kind of weird middle part of Janemba where you want to play with 2 extra energy every turn that you really can't afford to draw.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been kind of a couple different ways I've been seeing people do it. Either one, you just awaken as soon as possible. That means that your opponent can't hit 15k with their leader into yours, so you get out of a couple attacks that way. Yeah. Or you just grind it super late, and then you will eventually get like the value game at the end.
With like bio, you just go Bio Broly, cost me 1.
Mm-hmm. And Bio Broly becomes your draw for the turn. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think that those cards are certainly very powerful. I think the Janemba SR is among the strongest cards in the set.
Yes.
I mean, it is like 4 different like cards that we were already playing in yellow. It's 3 of them on 1 card. Yeah. It's a Self Awaken, the Frieza that taps something, the Vegeta in the sense that it gets 1 energy back, so you play out a cantrip, except it's a 25k, and it still has combo power. So, Janemba, I mean, playing out the Videl, that's fine. 20. Do you have 7 now? Yeah. No, that's 8. So what is it going to be like? Swing Trunks into the Frieza, then maybe combo a card there?
Yeah, that's probably fine.
I think the problem is that this brings us back to kind of the set 1 problem for blue, is that a lot of, especially the new Zamasu cards, still don't really function until you have 7 or fewer cards in hand.
Mm-hmm. And
getting there before you would get to any specific point of like, all right, well now I'm going to stop drawing as Zamasu, not healthy.
Yeah, I also think we should have started pressuring the Jace too, just because it's the only one with an actual skill anymore.
Yeah, crit.
Yeah. Or even the Raccoon, since I mean there's some weird cases where we can save a 3 cost a little bit more, but yeah, we're gonna use the super combo to save the Jace. Makes sense since it is the one that he's gonna apply a lot of crit pressure here, even if it takes a super combo to do so.
Yeah, and this is one of those things. I've actually been moving away from Videl for this set, and I think a lot of players are going to start doing it too. Not to say that she's a bad card, but in specifically Zamasu, where if you do manage to get flipped, being a 25 is really important. And so having a 20k body on the board for your opponent to attack at all is just losing cards that you should otherwise be able to keep if you were playing bigger bodies.
Sure.
Just a weird little interaction. And then obviously the 0 really hurts her. She's a card that like, wow, she was nuts. But like already I'm like, wow, she really needs 5k combo for her to like work. The blues, especially after this set with Vegito and Goku and, cards like Vegito 6-drop and Goku Black becoming really, really important for finishing the game. I don't know about having more zeros in like the mid game. Like if you're already going to run all the dead extra cards and stuff. And this Vegeta is going to put in so much work for yellow here. 25 into 25 twice. Removing the Videl without having to attack into it. I mean, that's as value as it gets right there. This is just like a +3, 4, 3. And Zamasu goes to 2 on turn 3 with a marker. Is this a situation where Janemba draws typically, right? Unless there's like double cantrip or something in hand.
Yeah, I would say some like there's some like weird 2-drops, but yeah, just the draw there. So I also think like Janemba is getting like the first little bit of the set. Janemba was getting a lot of value from people just like leaving things active and giving Janemba things to rest. Most people I think nowadays are hey, if I don't use this card right now, it's going to get rested anyway, so I'm just going to do it to get the immediate value, and that adds up too.
All right, so 1, doing the discard right off the bat puts them to a slightly lower hand size, but nothing immediately is online.
I'm still surprised that we are bullying the Raccoon and not the Jace.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, there is a little bit of merit that a 2 cost is easier to remove than a whatever.
Sure.
But also, if you're going to swing 35 right there, 35 into Raccoon is the same as 35 into Vegeta. Now, granted, looks like we had Sickle. But, I mean, this is 6 cards in hand on a leader that's not going to draw anymore. And, like, we're not... I guess we're now above the threshold for if you're playing, like, the skinny Gotenks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not so sure. And this could be up to like 3 or 4 attacks here. This could be play this Vegeta, restand 2 with leader, play a Janemba. Janemba attacks, gets an energy back. Like there is a lot of pressure that can really come out of this because even with that, you're just like you can put 4 25k attacks without losing any cards if you play a cantrip for that last energy that comes up.
Yeah, I really do like this Vegeta tech. I haven't seen as much in like the more aggressive builds of Zamasu that I've been seeing. Mostly because it's just like a just because you are able to play around Vegito because it's a 4 cost. The fact you get to attack twice is 25k is good against Zamasu specifically. Yeah, I think it's a good tech. I like it.
The removal is pretty key too, right? Like there's sometimes where you just like yellow just lacks good removal, and even just getting rid of a pesky battle card is really solid.
Yep, agreed. Agreed. Also, I know that my audio was like a little bit not great. It should be better now. This is a 64-person tournament we capped out, which I'm really happy about.
And then this is definitely a combo. I mean, if you're ahead 1-for-1ing with your opponents, always the play.
Mm-hmm.
And Zamasu already at 4 cards in hand. Like, let's pretend somehow.
Let's say we only have one Pilaf.
Yeah.
let's just say we have one. Okay. We've got
Goku
Black
Black comes down. This is add Gotenks. Yep. So this is playing the way that Zamasu played in like set 2.
Sure.
Right. Using this Gotenks to add back 2 cards.
Yeah.
Just to try to keep up on value. And not battle card swings?
Yeah, I'm just as surprised.
I mean, like right here, now this is just a super combo save. Like, super combo in a card is well worth this dual attack situation. And, like, you could have gotten another attack off into it with your leader.
And this is just a super combo to save, right? Yeah, like, just such an easy super combo save.
Mm-hmm. Like, even this Gotenks swinging into it, you absolutely just go, yeah, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, you know this is the last attack that you're going to see, and Zamasu being, like, just a 20... Yeah, you can just pressure for so free now.
And if Janemba specifically, if Janemba has a Goku 4 cost...
Oh, yeah.
The SR?
I mean, we're comboing with one now, so you know we have to have a third
if
one
they have
in hand.
2.
Because I think we comboed with one earlier for an attack. So as mentioned, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we had one right now.
I mean, you know, when it rains, it pours, it feels. You look at your hand and you've got 2 3-ofs and a 2-of, and you're like, I have 8 cards, but only 3 different cards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the Goku on its own just outright wins the game here. Like, there's just no doubt in my mind. Like, even if next turn has, like, a Zeno, maybe a Zeno could potentially do it, but you're losing so many cards here. You have access to 8 total energy, which could be 2 different 4 cost plays.
I mean, if you have, 5... Just having 5 25k attacks as itself is enough. Yeah. Because, you know, this Vegeta's going to be able to attack twice. You know, 2 cards in their hand are 10k, so that's good info, but...
I mean, it's still blue, right? So you're looking at some number of extra cards, some dead cards, like already at 1 here. This is a simple number of math game. Can you make 5 attacks or 4 25k attacks? Then just dump on the last one.
Yeah, and this Zongi is such a good card. It's super weird to just have like a random Zongi in this set. Like just
yeah, because it's from the movie, right?
Yeah,
so she rises up. Yeah, right.
I suppose, but it's just super strong.
My goodness.
We are playing Supernova. Gross.
Stunning it's a 4 or less.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So you can stun the Gotenks.
I don't mind the card in this deck. There's just so many good like yellow like 1 cost event. Oh, another one. Okay,
Oh,
that Gotenks ain't hidden anytime soon.
2 super combos? I mean, we haven't seen any from Zamasu, I don't
Yeah.
think. And that
And it doesn't
is
look like we are
10Ks.
anytime soon.
60 on the dot, and that is all she wrote. I'm sure Janemba probably had like 2, maybe even a third more attack there, but Zamasu was taking those hits too quickly, man.
Yeah.
Using combos offensively out of hand was just not something that you were going to be able to recover from, because now you're playing it like a set, 1 or 2, I guess 2, because that's when it came out. Set 2 Zamasu, set 1 and 2 blue, where yeah, you take a bunch of hits and you get a bunch of cards in your hand, but the cards in your hand don't do anything until you have 7 or less.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you have to like combo offensively. You have to discard in weird ways. That you're just not giving yourself the advantage loop that you need to keep up, because Blue's top end is really good, and Blue's advantage loop is insane. Like it plays out of the drop area with Pilaf and Vegeta and Gotenks and stuff, but you're just going to be at a disadvantage if you take too many hits early as a blue deck.
Yeah, and we're jumping to another game. We're just jumping to table 1. Interesting. What an interesting state to jump into. So this is the new Goku for both players. One is ahead on board and it looks like hand advantage, but they don't have.
This is pretty skewed, right?
Yeah, this is but they don't have the stage. They don't have Tournament Power Arena. This card gets infinite value.
Tournament Power Arena.
Never
Which is
counted
an
out.
excellent card. But there are times where you're like, okay, 4 dead card, missing your turn 2, and especially right now for these, let's say like if we think the best red decks in the game are both of the different Daimas, and then like potentially there's a Master Ultra Instinct list out there that we're just not aware of. Being able to play out your 2-cost Self Awakener for Pansy, Khalifa, or Goku Daima is so important. To hit that curve, to then be able to play an impactful card on 3 and 4 rather than to spend your whole time awakening. And I mean, this is exactly how
brutal
this goes. And his hand, right, is healthy enough that if there is another red Goku in response, even if you get the board wipe, even if you do the everything right, they'll just protect their own Goku, because you're not the non-Super Saiyan Daima. You're not going 45 into 15. You're still just going 40 into 20.
Yeah, I would have appreciated maybe like using some card, like even if it's just like a Whis attack, make it a 20 with the 2 Nevas there, just in case. But yeah, we're so
like you
far
ahead. Have to assume that those cards are gone in some way.
Yeah,
right? Like whether you're entering the secret rare war, or you're gonna start doing like, okay, well let me just go my own Whis Gohan or something. This is 40 into 20. I mean, you just probably defend this, right? This is only 2 cards out of hand to be able to almost immediately win the game, because if you just play a second one, then you still have the 45, easy peasy, another easy decision.
Yeah, well, we got another 20 into there with our our leader. We can't do damage to our opponent, right? So we have to just attack 20 into 20. But
like the game isn't over, because now we've kind of evened the advantage, right? We've got 2 or 3 cards back. But if there is even an average play on I'm going to call them purple players.
Sure. Yeah, let me I don't have the names just because we jumped into this one midway, but I can
if Purple Flames has got any sort of advantage here,
their names the fact that you're going to be able to
remove.
Oh no,
you're going to be able to remove the secret rare without any effort. And if there's another super combo, I mean, this is for sure. I mean, honestly, I still think you lose 2 cards here. You just want to be able to go at the leader without having to put any swings into the secret rare yourself. That's the ultimate goal. Super combo. No, but you still give up 2.
All right, we've got Joseph D versus Josh D, both playing Namek.
Both the JDs.
Both the JDs.
All right, well, Josh is putting himself in a winning position as long as he has something on his side.
Yeah. Another one would be game over, right? Because you just attack twice.
Immediate game.
Yeah.
The double striker kind of puts you in a game shot, right? Because you're just like, all right, well, here's 40 into 20, eats the negate, and then remove the secret rare swing 35 or 45 double. That's still really
this
solid.
This is really solid, yeah, for sure. You now have a 35K.
You still put the secret rare into... Probably still have to go secret rare into secret rare here. There's just no way you can... I mean, yeah, and you know what?
Like
maybe not. If that's like if there's a Vegeta in hand, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just go face that eats the negate. Nope, never mind.
We're just
Vegeta would have removed the Goku regardless.
Oh, interesting that we're boosting there. I mean, I guess this just makes the spread a little bit better.
Yeah, because the 25 over 15.
But we still have the stage too, so that kind of removes that.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little... I suppose it's probably for a balancing purpose because it's searchable, but the Pansy... I don't even know if it's technically Pansy, whatever.
It is Pansy, yeah. I know obscuring one's face usually changes the name of a card in this game, but this is Pansy. Yeah.
Like, I'm a little shocked that it's not, with all of that specification, that it's not a 10k boost.
Yeah, because...
Like, I think this card makes a lot more sense as a 10k boost with 5k combo power.
Yeah, because we have the Universe 3 card, right?
Yeah, the Margarita.
Margarita, yeah. Essentially, they're doing the same thing, at least in these scenarios, but is way more free and is also a 10k, as mentioned.
It's searchable off of the Neva, which is really cool that we actually have like a good search card again.
Mm-hmm.
That was negated. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of the smallest hits that we'll be taking this turn. I presume everything else this turn will be a larger attack.
Yeah, because we are going to have 35k twice with the Glorio, a 40k with Goku on board already. Like 35k means that you still need a super combo and I guess the stage, right? So that's fine. But...
Yeah. I mean, and there's still 2 energy, right? When we're talking about red here, like there's the new Pansy, that's a 20k. There's red Frieza from U7, which is just if your leader's awakened, it's a 20k. You can always just play out Margaritas as their own 20k attacks.
Yeah, I'm just surprised we didn't use a 10k in the stage, because that would have been helpful to get out of an attack like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, super combo and
like right there, we're seeing it is that this is just it's more resource costly when you could have super comboed out of the leader attack and then prevented one of these 35s instead. Or if they were going to go into your battle card, your secret rare wasn't living this turn anyway. It's the same concept. Because Josh gets to basically always sequence that his leader or his secret rare swing is his last one.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going for game, it'll be going for game. But if Joseph defends all of these, then you just go secret rare into secret rare, and then that should do it. If only because, well, now you have no cards in hand. You just defended all these hits.
Yeah, because this is demanding at least 2 cards right now. And I mean, Pansy being a 5k means you can still just put one single 10k on it to be able to pressure leader. And if they don't get as mentioned, you can just go secret into secret and just try again next turn.
Mm-hmm. And realistically, at this point, you're just trying to 1-for-1. Though Josh can't quite extend that far if he thinks that every card has combo power in Joseph's hand, right? Like if he's sitting on, say, 2 more super combos here. If only because we're in a situation of, all right, if I spew my whole hand onto the board with, let's say, like a Margarita, buff the Pansy, swing Margarita, combo 5, you still only have 3 life, and there would be a secret rare on board.
Yeah. Also, we have used 3 super combos so far. Oh, we're deciding that we want to go for game.
Yeah. I mean, this is a 40k when there's how many super combos? You said 3 are gone?
3 are gone, yeah.
You make this one 40k and then you... Or 35, yeah, same deal. This is like, if you have your last super combo, go for it now. And you can hard combo out, but I think that just means that Pansy now swings for game. If there's like a 10k.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this could be the ultimate bait.
It could be.
If that last card is a super combo, Joseph is just better than all of us.
I agree. It could be a super bait. And so... like you can go 25k with Pansy with 2 10ks.
Yeah, and
super
honestly,
combo.
You're still.
Oh, just one super combo. Okay, and they gave up. All right,
Okay.
the last card in hand must be dead.
But if that had been something, it's like secret rare into secret rare kills it off.
You top deck a Glorio, you win the game.
Yeah.
Insane. I would have made it 25 if we had it, because that was a little close for comfort, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Hayden, I gotta say, your Frieza situation here is kind of nice.
Kind of nice, yeah.
Kind of nice.
Funny enough, I pulled the 2-star Goku in IRL.
I saw that.
And then
congratulations.
I pulled the 2-star Frieza in the thing. It's not to pick hairs, but here real quick.
It's like $500.
No. I have. Do you know the difference between like the secret rare and then the super foil secret rare?
Oh yeah, because I call it animated.
Yeah,
I have the animated alt.
It's just not. I'm just not good enough for a thin purple outline. I can tell anyone I want it's the rarest Frieza, and unless they can identify that this is glowing a little bit less, they just got to take my word for it. So, anyways, how much time we got left in this round? Looks like we've got about 5 minutes left, and based on people who have reported, we have most games ending. Let me see if I can jump into table 2 or 3. I don't know the matchups outright, but we'll
How many people do we have watching on Twitch right now?
We have a hundo.
You know what would be an interesting one, because we just saw it?
Which
what do you guys think, if Hayden wants to throw up a poll, which of the two Daima Gokus is better? Starter deck or Super Saiyan?
Here, let's see. Well, let's jump into table 2, and you guys can discuss that. Let me see.
Discuss. Put up a poll.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting up.
See, I'm simply telling you what to do because I have that right.
All right.
I'm not a guest here.
we just walked into Sharpner swinging for game. Crazy.
Oh, that is Sharpner. That
happens.
Interesting.
That happens. What can I say?
Yeah, they did learn the lesson of making cantrips not attacking cards in multiple different Bandai games, and then they were like, "Oh, well, we'll just do it again in this one, I guess."
It's starter 6 Goku, right? That's the other one, starter 6.
Starter 6, yeah. You can just call it,
No, I did
regular
the thing. We're
versus
good. All right. I still think FB03 Goku is silly strong. I think that is a silly strong deck right now.
The Super Saiyan 4?
No, the blue one. Sorry, the FB03.
Halo Ku.
Yeah, Halo Ku.
High school.
Yeah, that deck. I think most people are like, we should probably prevent Pilaf from being around anymore.
Not until after it gets an alt art.
You know what?
Somehow,
when you're right, you're right. Not until Dane spends an extra hundo on a playset of it. You're right. You're right.
We have new judge packs. We have a premium art set with some of the best cards in the game. And we still have no alt art Pilaf. And this is also like the 8th game in a row that we've seen a cantrip attack. And I just don't know why this is happening over and over again. Specifically, what did we just attack into? The Bulma is like the best card in the baby deck. Like, that card is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little costly at 2, but otherwise it's great.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We're playing Vegito. Your opponent's at 2 life.
I see. Well, we're just gonna do the.
We're doing the fun play.
The set 1 thing.
The set 1 thing.
What is going on? What are all these blue players playing like it's set 1 right now?
We need the value. Also, names are incorrect. I'll see if I can find them. We don't have much time left in round though. Oh man,
this is interesting.
Pilaf ate a super combo.
Huh.
Oh boy.
Pilaf add. Like, are you just gonna do it over and over again?
I think so. Which is weird because I feel like, I don't know, if we started this turn at 8 energy, we could have just.
There must have been something.
There's something we missed when we jumped into this, right? There has to be.
Final Hope Slash. Buffing the right one. That's the most infuriating thing of all, is when you don't buff the correct one.
Yeah. That's why I can't play this deck on the client, because I always pick the wrong one out of excitement.
Yep. You just get so ready.
All right. What are we doing for 3? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just.
I mean,
we made
what
it
else
to time,
is there to
huh?
do, baby? This
made
is
it to
it.
time,
This is
huh?
the game. Okay, we're gonna put up a little bit of a wall. Okay.
We're a little bit afraid. What could we get from our 27 cards in trash
You
OP
just have
off?
to attack him with this Bulma here. You cannot allow Bulma to exist, right?
Yeah, because it's a 10k.
Oh,
anyways.
there's the whole gang right there.
Where's the 4th one? Oh, right there. Yeah, it's already
They're all
yeah.
on the board. It's the whole gang. The party's all here.
Screenshot this. Send a Bandai HQ.
Man, this Pilaf loop is really obnoxious. Good thing we're not looping.
No, we're just playing 4 boys.
But again, no swing into the Bulma, and now that Bulma gets to be not only a 10k offensively on a combo here, but also gonna be a
Sick draw 1,
right?
which
Like,
Pilaf did 6 times last turn for 1 energy.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think here? It could be like Ape play the chain, because I do see the Rildo cards in energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the chain is available, it's not a bad idea to go for it.
Yeah, I see someone saying buff droids in chat. There are like 3 or 4 people playing unironically FB03 versions of Android 17, which isn't making fun of them, but just pointing it out that it's still.
Whoever is saying buff droids should go straight to jail. That has been the best deck in the format since set 2.
Since we had a last
Every
best deck in format.
And at the start of every format, we go, oh, well, maybe there's a different best deck now. And then you know what it always comes back to?
Yeah. Androids always. Also, we did run our poll. 69% nice of you say that starter deck Goku's better.
I'm so glad that 69% of you are so very correct.
Yeah, I think that's generally
the -5 is killer.
Mm-hmm. It's over does a lot in this meta. I feel like
it's over, and then like the +5 versus +10. So many red cards are already 25,000 power that moving them to 30 or 35 instead of 30 is really not a very big difference, right?
All right, hold up. We've got 6 energy. We hit them to 2. There's been a Bardock already charged to energy.
You think so? You think
I think this has potential to be it. Here we go. All right, can we overcome the 0 cost event? That's also really dumb.
Oh, we do get a lot of draw here too.
Yeah, because we get to combo the trunks. That lets us get 2 more 10Ks. So we're looking at least 60K, and we get rid of the peel off, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
If we remember. So 100K to 8 cards in hand. And how many super combos are in this Trasharoni? 1, 2. I think 2. All right, let's see if Bardock's able to get there.
Oh, this is a big 100. I mean, we don't know how many super combos were gone. You said, sorry.
2, I believe. If I looked at it correctly.
2 supers gone.
So pretty likely we have at least 1 in hand. But 100K might be too good.
Let's see. That could be like 60. I mean, really, it depends on how many the new 0 cost card.
Well, there's one.
There's one. The new 0 cost and the.
Oh, 85, 95. Oh,
That's right. 105.
105. I think that was the right call. I think they played to their out.
Yep.
And likely they did the math for if they took that 40k
Like chances, yeah.
of like if they got to 100k, right? If every card in their hand was a 10k with the trunks and it's Bardock, what's my chances of losing?
I think that was the right choice. I have not yet seen the Vegito animation. This is brand new to me. Almost Big Bang Attack, but not the Spirit Sword. Kind of a missed opportunity there.
Oh,
And
okay.
that,
all right.
that should always do it.
Yeah, that should
Not even putting back the.
Yeah, you can stay on
40.
board. Kind of
that'll
dad, depending on which half of Vegito's talking, I guess.
We went through on topic because Dragon Ball, off topic because different Dragon Ball game.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was showing my girlfriend the fighters roster because I was like, I'm curious now about what percentage of the fighters roster is Goku. And I sat there and we did Cell is 10%. And Bardock, that's half a Goku. Gohan, that's half a Goku. Gotenks, quarter Goku. And you just kind of add it all up. And it's like 17% of the game is Goku. And it's just like, that's unbelievable. Who is allowing this to happen?
Yeah, who's allowing that happening, right? Not me.
You're not in charge of Arxis games?
No, not. Don't scroll through my LinkedIn too much. Just where's this blip between 2019 and present? Oh, nothing. Just Eggman games. Promise.
Just hanging out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to take a short break. We're pretty much at the end. There are usually, as per usual, since this is like a new set and stuff, there are some people who are needing a little help getting everything situated. So it shouldn't be that long. We'll get into round number 2 in a moment. If there's a leader you guys want us to see, let us know. We'll try to do our best from there. But we'll be back with round number 2 and see you guys then. Be right back.
See you guys shortly.
All right, we are back. We've got round number 2 in just a moment. It did just get paired. Dane, was there a leader that we decided on for this one?
No, I was looking for players. I kind of wanted to see maybe where we're at, but realistically, as long as we're seeing something new, like maybe a Vegito game from the start to kind of see how things are going.
Green Goku
A
is
Janemba
what I'm
game from
hearing
the start.
from.
Green Goku.
No, is there? Someone said Frieza in chat. I don't think someone's leaved up virtually a Frieza today. Let me see. Yeah, no Friezas today. Good amount of Majin Buus. There's some Gogetas as well, which I'm a little bit on the fence.
I think Gogeta is probably the best black deck next to maybe tied with Goku, but I think it's almost certainly the best one.
It's just you don't draw when you flip over. I don't know why. It just feels bad every
time.
Honestly,
because you don't need it.
You sometimes need
it. The addition, yeah, sure. The additional consistency of the energy marker, just like always having it, means that your like SS4 is not as liable to one, not get value, but two, there's just a lot of times where you use the energy marker when you don't necessarily want to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm looking through these Gogetas. They are not. They've. Oh, okay. Table. We can go to table 4. I think. Let me see if they're set up there. Yeah.
But realistically, I think any of the new decks are acceptable. I think really none of them falter. I think SS Daima is probably the worst of the set.
Yeah, I think
red
has
red
a
in
really general
is just hard pool.
I don't know. I was going to say red's probably the weakest color in my mind right now in this game.
I could see that. I think it's getting definitely better balance, and a big one for me is that so far the matchups have been less skewed, than they were previously. And at say a nationals type event, frequently what we saw was just people would sit down and before the game is over, you've already decided who's won and lost, and that kind of you know what I mean? You sit down and go, oh, well, I'm the Jiren player playing against blue. Maybe that's not the best example. But droids, yellow, and that kind of stuff, you would just see it and you'd be like, all right, well, now my cards don't function, or my boss monster doesn't kill their boss monster handily, right? Mm-hmm. That was a really big issue. My feature match is a great example. Daima into high school, that isn't a near unwinnable matchup for high school, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And so how was he, no matter what skill level he was at, which he was excellent, right? He was in top 16. Mm-hmm. But how is he going to overcome that when there's any sort of understanding about how, the deck should play?
Sure. And we had some issues too where Jiren would just make yellow unplayable, right? There's some, and now Frieza's made that almost tips it to the other side, I would almost say. And so
agree.
But generally speaking, I think every color in this game is viable in one sense or the other, which is really good. I don't think there's any matchups that are worse than maybe like common matchups that are worse than 60-40. Most of the time you can bring whatever deck you want. That's viable, which there are I would say 10-ish decks that are kind of in that pool.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't necessarily feel it's unwinnable against most things that you'd see in the field, which I think is really cool from skill expression too.
Yeah, so you're talking SS4 and Gogeta.
Yep.
You're talking Janemba and Buu. You're talking Zamasu, Vegeta, and Vegito.
Yeah.
You're talking both the Daimas and maybe Mastered Ultra Instinct. I do think that's.
I'll just put the 2 Daimas for right now.
Yeah. I swear, man. There's something about swinging 40K twice.
You also didn't say. Did you say Angel Coup? I don't think you said Angel Coup.
Halo. Yep. Nope. I didn't.
You didn't say that. We've got the Goku green deck and the Aandroidd 17.
Both of those are good. I mean, I've seen a lot of new Broly lists. Yeah. I don't know if you've been seeing that at all.
I have been seeing that. Yeah.
That's a really cool idea and strategy, just because honestly all the 25K leaders have such interesting ways to function that I'm down for their existence.
Yeah.
All right, so here is a double brand new deck situation. Have you played a lot of Green Goku or against a lot of Green Goku?
I've played a good amount at the beginning. To the basic combo of it. My issue is that it once people know how to play against it, you lose a lot of free advantage, I find.
Yes.
If once your opponent stops putting you down to 2 for you, then you kind of lose out on a lot of resources.
Yeah, you have to play out your own Self Awakener.
Mm-hmm.
I think the very first week, I felt like people were trying to play it maybe where you would go, all right, well, I just simply want to attack my opponent. But then I think what would happen is that they would build too big of a board.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now, if you can rush them down to 3 and force them to awaken right away, yes, that double striker might be scary, but if you can stay at a high enough life total, or you can like offset those attacks, you can really overcome the advantage deficit by going, all right, but you have no card draw, and a lot of times you're actively discarding at the end of your turn.
Yeah,
And
so it's really made me want to try like a more like mid-range version of it, where you like green has a lot of recycling resources. You don't have to self-awaken super early necessarily. If you ramp too much, you lose your healing, but then you could use something like Cell to get it back. So I don't know. I think there's like the base way to play this deck is pretty okay, but there might be a deeper way to play a leader like Goku.
And I think that's entirely fair. There is, when every leader in the game, the front side is just draw. There is a lot of flexibility in playing a low life, and I don't mean like low life, but like
scum
like,
of the
don't
earth.
Take your own life. Play a base advantage game, and just be around. Realistically, is like the best way I could put that. I just don't have I don't have a good phrase here, but like the leaders all play the same for so long that if there is some engine that you can find that works at the beginning, you can just go for that the whole way through.
What I do like specifically, one, like green's never really had any self-awakening, but we do see like a lot of all these leaders are really unique in like not only like their builds but their construction and how the leaders work. I know the front side is generically mostly the same, but some have like different awakening conditions or what happens when you are awakening, whether it be, you know, milling 10 or doing nothing, but as so just staring them down. But I do really appreciate that there seems to be more diversity in what leaders' identities are.
And, I definitely think that's a good thing that we're getting to. What I would love to see is a way to awaken a little bit faster, if only because the curve of every deck is still feeling very similar. Of turn 1 cantrip, turn 2 self-awaken, turn 3 quote-unquote self-awakener, but it's like a card that happens to pick up life rather than its purpose is to pick up life.
Yeah. And I've been really liking the baby in Gogeta. I think Gogeta is definitely a deck like if you have a wide board, whether it be like your babies or like your Glorios, it benefits from having like just guaranteed attacks every turn, and then you can use your marker to just remove your opponent's board every turn. You get a lot of value, or even just stunning their board.
I completely agree. There's a lot to. There's really just so much that changed. I feel like this set, every single set, the game just gets slightly more nuanced. The card diversity in what they can do gets a little better, or like the names or traits get more in their favor, right? Like there's Namekian builds, Frieza clan builds, even if they're not quite as strong as the more typical one, it does allow for at least a little more diversity and creativity in deck building.
Agreed.
Which is really all you can kind of ask for of a game this early on, right? Really, no, there's just very few card games that are like, yeah, so I'm on set 4 and what are we set? So set 5, and there's like we started at 10, but we both know that it's actually more like almost 15 leaders that are like completely viable. Because you know what, we left out Yellow Vegeta. We didn't talk about some of the starter stuff. Like Frieza like might have just a list of, you know what, if you just like play out Janembas and Bio Broly's every turn and you restand them, Red's not removing those cards. blue is going to have a hard time removing those cards and keeping up with your advantage. Like there's just so many things that are at the same power level from a leader standpoint, and it's the card pool that gets better every set.
Yeah.
And so maybe that allows for a little more creativity, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, I think that's true. And, you know, one bonus kind of thing about it too is that, you know, we're at the beginning of this format. And a lot of other card games that I play, Japan gets stuff first, right? You don't know that what anti-luxury, right? You play Masters, you get to discover stuff a lot more. But the fact that, you know, this is fresh and like, you know, oh, this leader seems strong right now, and it's not our, hey, guess what? Someone found a viable Piccolo build now. Like Piccolo is now, you know, if that happens, right? That could happen in this game for sure. And I think that's really interesting.
Being a worldwide, yeah, it's I think it's really important that there's not that disconnect, because that is something I hear a lot from Digimon players and One Piece players. Like they already know most of the time what the best decks are going to be. Union Arena is kind of in a middle ground where the stuff is so different. But this game is really neat in how it's approached. But even so, let's you know, beyond just like macro stuff, on a micro level, this individual game is so Goku favored right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they've gotten so much pressure. We've got a 30K crit coming off this Destructo disc. Oh no, sorry, it's 30K. We're only at we have
right,
but still 30K off this Murray here, who's supposed to just sit in the corner.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a when I'm ready, I'll block. I promise.
Yeah.
He's just a little nervous and he doesn't block until he's ready.
But I think we can actually put some pressure on Goku here, especially since one we're playing this 4-drop here, which is really nice. I think we should have made the marker first and then attacked, just so we could end the turn on a marker and have used one.
Yep.
If we needed to.
And right there, you're describing the exact reason I think that there is a lot of merit to playing Gogeta. Is like that situation, you get to 4, maybe you had to blow your marker, right? And now Black's got more tools than it had before.
Yeah.
We have access to like I'm trying to think of like the best example, the Go Tanks, that blows up 2-1. Like on turn 3, it was like a cardinal sin to use your marker like that. But against an aggro attack, now you have the ability to do so and then still produce your secret rare on turn 4.
Yeah. Also, I guess we must have used the marker. I must have missed when we did. But we do end the turn. We also have the protection, which is really, really nice. And
card is fair and balanced, right?
It's so good. In a format like protection is actually becoming a thing, right? We got Frieza with barrier. I think this Trunks gets better with that. But we've got another Murray.
I mean, you pick down. I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like,
use marker to make a marker. I see. Okay, you're right. Use
okay.
Yeah,
sure,
you're right. Sorry, I'm clearly not a Gogeta player. I've been trying to dunk on the deck unsuccessfully since announced. But I will say, when I play this deck, you if you get to stabilize, you feel like the world's your oyster. You have like so many good effects that you just get for, you know, quote unquote free, which other decks have to spend time and resources for. I think the new 5-drop Goku is one of the best finishers. It's better than Double Strike more times than not, because you can play it in like the mid game. But it does get you get in these kind of situations right here where you're so close to losing, but then if you stabilize, then you just get like infinite card draw.
Yeah. Oh, that card is so good, and it gets to stun. It's gonna stun the ape.
Yeah, no, you have to have 2.
Stun the
you know, we gotta have 2 of them.
So, and this is one of the things that this deck is really good at, is I think this advantage loop and stall loop of like Hercule, add back Destructo Disc to make sure every swing that goes through is crit, and then add back a Chaozu to stun a card, is a really good advantage and like resource loop.
Yeah.
Obviously, I guess those are kind of the same thing, but like, because the game is only based on combo power, it's
if
it adds combo power and stalls.
There's one card that they have it right here, Dr. Brief's Spaceship. If this was an Earthling, which there's an Earthling in the picture, you gotta
and it was built
on
by
Earth.
Yeah,
I
on Earth
would argue
by
it's
a
more of an
guy-
Earthling than a Saiyan, if I was to be
I
honest.
had this discussion with a local. You are not the first.
Yeah,
I
I would think if Hercule could grab that card, it would be busted though. So I understand why they didn't, but I think it's just super funny. It's just like, man, just
Notably, Gogeta chose not to attack there.
yeah.
I think that was slightly wrong. I think because you have your leader swing, which draws, and 2 Goku swings, you would have gotten more out of your opponent, even if it means that they are at 2.
I would have started with the leader swing to see if they take it, and then we punish them with the Goku. But yeah,
Correct, yeah.
I think you're right.
And you could even do the leader swing prior to Goku coming down. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't have to play the Goku. You can hide that information, because then, you know what? They might just combo out because they're scared of Bardock. Like, if their hand is kind of dead because, like, the Krillin is the Krillin a 0? I think he's a 5, right?
He's a 5. Yeah, he's a 5K combo.
I know this Gohan is dead. The secret rare is a 4 of, which is dead. If they're playing any of the Vegeta, like, there's a lot of only 5Ks with the cantrips, the Vegeta Ape, the Chaozu's only a 5K. Like, the 10Ks are kind of like Muri, 1 or 2 of the Gokus, and then if they are including like Kami's, like, they have to kind of go out of their way to include 10Ks. Like, it's not a red deck where it's like accidentally my deck is just all 10Ks.
Oh man,
this is tough. This could just end in game here, where you just go like 30 on the Gohan and then a double strike for game.
Yeah.
Oh, full power.
That. Oh, but do you keep this Goku around? Okay, yeah, you're fine. Sorry. I see Chaozu's smug little face.
That card is so strong.
It's so good. It's so good. I would still argue,
weird, you know,
what?
That effect is in like 4 different colors.
Yeah.
His yellow is always kind of a stun. Chaozu has it. There's like a Kunshi from Universe 11 that stuns like a 25 or less.
Yeah. Red's is pretty bad. Technically, blue has one, but it costs 3, right? But we have it.
But then Para Brothers.
Yeah, Para Brothers, especially in this deck, when it's so trivial to do Hercule Para Brothers in this deck specifically. Or the event version of it too, which is the Trash Talk. Right? I don't know if it's 4 or less though. Should just
I mean, I think Trash Talk is really strong, right? Like, just stunning. There are some cards that gain advantage when they're attacking, you know, and those cards can be really good. Like, I think about, say, the Gohan, the 3 cost. Like, you might not necessarily, like, they'll defend a Gohan because it's the same thing as defending a leader, and so you have to have hard removal, or you could like play a secret rare, get some advantage, and then stun the Gohan, and now it can't attack you. Obviously 10 times Kamehameha solves the problem slightly better, but, you know, Trash Talk keeps you at +1, and if they only have 1 card, you don't want to waste, quote unquote, that advantage.
All right, so we need to take a life, which, oh man, I haven't seen that animation. That's really good. It is a shame how many good animations there are in this game that it's very hard to see, because it's just, you can't craft the alt arts.
You can't craft the alt arts. You're sometimes locked in a situation where even if you have the one, you're not going to see it very frequently, right? Like, there's a lot of cards that when you have like the 1 of for Kefla, you're like, oh, well, I'm good. But getting a full set of alt arts for these other cards is just no way. You know, I say, like, we're sitting here like, oh, the animation, but the game is ending.
Oh man, we had 2 Hercules in hand. I'm very surprised we didn't use them just to draw more 10Ks, because that could have made a difference.
I'm sure there was a cantrip somewhere in there, right? Just to be like, oh, you know, I could do that.
Well, maybe we drew one off the last, end of turn thing, but
yeah. But even though, I suppose it could honestly be that way, right? Like, you pick up the Hercule from life right there. No, because he was at 2 to start that turn. Yeah,
but I think like you did kind of have to force them to have a Self-Awakener. They did have one. Like, the deck runs like 20, so it's not too much of an ask. But I don't think
Krillin, Gohan, Puri, 4 Goku, maybe Vegeta.
There's a lot. Okay. There are a lot, but that's just kind of how that one goes. So that was table 4. Let's see if we can jump into another table real quick. We're probably just willy-nilly jumping through them now. Let's see, we got table 1. Let's see how they're doing. We're about halfway through this round. That one is a little bit quicker. Green Goku.
It's a weirdly aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Like it's still green, so like and sometimes it can play a really long game, but also like it tries to kill you on like turn 5 if you hit them at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Or like if they see every bit of their self awaken.
All right. We've got
high school
Vegito. Versus which it looks like Vegito's in a really good spot right now.
That's a Goku Black. Is that a Vegito SR?
It is a Vegeta SR.
Oh, it's a Vegeta.
Yeah.
The double strike. That's a card I don't see very frequently anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the power of double strike is insanely strong right now. A lot of decks can do it for 3, with Vegito being one of them. If you just don't use the Vegeta buff, but also like Goku can do it for 3. It's just very present.
I mean, any green deck can do it for 3, right? Like that is a huge piece. But dude, there's.
Sorry, I've got too much value over here. I can't hear you. What are you saying?
I'm just not like there's just no like this Goku Black is gonna live entirely.
Yeah,
and that you just a second swing on a Goku Black, if that doesn't win the game outright, I don't know if you were ever winning that game.
Yeah. Also, Ice Loom with the raid. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I hope you had a good stream. Congratulations on getting God rank as well with Jiren, as he mentioned to me earlier. So, not a leader I would expect.
Fine, right?
What do you say?
Oh, hey, right off the top. Getting rid of only the Vegeta, and then you swing into the Gohan because you can't swing life.
Well, you have to keep it active so you can switch it to resting with your leader effect to get a plus 10k.
Oh, true.
Too cool.
True.
Too cool for school with that play.
And then Vegito goes, all right, anyway, here's my Goku Black and my 6-cost Vegito.
Yeah,
he just skipped charge.
Yeah.
Oh, you are cooked. If a blue deck is skipping charge.
Yeah.
Hold on, did he just not play a card? Oh, because he has too many.
Yeah, he's got too many cards in hand.
He messed up. Oh, no, that was a huge blunder.
Sorry, let me hit you with these 240Ks real quick and then start using energy. I mean, it just means you have a second Goku Black in hand, right?
Maybe, but like I just feel like swing with Gohan combo at 10k, then play Goku Black was an unbelievably better call
you've won it so many times.
Yeah, I mean the game is already.
Sorry, no wait, we don't have 20 cards in our trash somehow. I don't know how, but we just take this.
Playing only Pilafs. It's the only card we've resolved this game. Everything's out of drop area.
Well, I know a lot of people are kind of shifting to like it doesn't really matter until super late game to awaken, right? And if you're playing like a slow game where you don't awaken at all, you don't need playing your self mill cards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I definitely have found like in the Zamasu games that I'm playing, I'll frequently play a Goku for 3 just to mill 5.
Yeah.
Even if it does nothing else. It's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna like self mill so that way I'm closer to my 20, right? Maybe I can start a Gotenks loop a little sooner. Maybe I can try this. But I also think the Vegito is just one of those decks. Like, what if I just played this Zamasu deck as is, but in Vegito?
You know what I mean? You've not been the first one to send me that proposition. And I've played against them, and I'm just like... There's one game in particular where they legitimately resolve Pilaf like 20 times. And I'm thinking about making a video about my thoughts on Pilaf, and that's just running on loop in the background every time.
In the back, it's just like,
just
check this.
Like, the sound effect. I don't know if I'm going to commit to it, but it's a...
he's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy. Man, a year ago when it was released, I'm like, oh, this is a neat little combo. And now I'm just like, end it.
Who would have guessed that a blue 1-cost Pilaf is like the best blue card in both the Dragon Ball games?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. The funny thing is, there's a card in One Piece called Sanji's Pilaf, which is the actual food. It's not his own version.
Is it also
of...
blue? Please tell me
it is blue. It is blue.
Oh yeah.
And it says draw 2 cards.
That
And if you hit it off your life, you draw 2 cards.
You've given me a great and powerful gift.
And it is played in the one alternate win condition deck, which is Nami. Yeah, which is the mill deck. It is the self mill deck. But if I say ban Pilaf, people are going to look at me a little bit weird. Some people just hate like playing against Nami. It's fine. I get it. Like it's some alternate win conditions, but I have to be really concise about it.
Well, there's an argument to ban Pilaf in like Masters too, like in all 3 games then.
Because ripping like Swap or Union Absorb is like game determinative the second it happens.
Yeah. He's always been a little stinker.
So cool.
He's always been a little stinker. Like even like the set, what was it? I can't remember. It was like set 2 of Dragon Ball. Like I remember people had to ask devs because barrier was a keyword, right?
Yeah.
And the Pilaf said, choose a keyword and remove it from a card. And the solution they chose, also, we use Grade 8 who gain intelligence to give this a 40k and draw a card. That's cool. That's a fun ability. Anyways. And they're like, well, we're not targeting the card. We're targeting the keyword on the card.
The keyword.
And they're like, all right. Sure.
Hey, we're still what was that? Godstrike Beerus?
Yeah.
Like set 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're still doing that.
Yeah.
Now in Green Frieza, they're ripping keywords, but Goku this is a matchup that historically is very favored for high school.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing why is that the loop that high school produces is not interruptible enough by black decks.
Yeah, I mean, you can use 10 times Kamehameha. You used 1 Dawn and a marker to get rid of 2 of their 1 cost. Cool, but like, yeah, the flexibility and the value is just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Or you got to play two for free.
Like, yeah, I mean, look at this, right? You're talking Pilafs. The removal is really, really easy. That's something that's not. It's easy and repeatable. That's something that the other blue decks do not really have advantage to. Is like they have to find Sickle, and then they still have to pay 3. High school is like, all right, let me play this Sharpener. Let me use a Videl that draws back the Great Saiyaman, and then I'll remove whatever's on your board just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of.
I love this discussion while we're just creating infinite value.
Infinite, and yeah, like this is the exact reason is that this loop is something that blue has a really hard time overcoming. Or sorry, not blue, that black.
Every other color in the game, yeah. I mean, correct. If blue's in the mirror match, yeah, blue has a hard time sometimes with it, but you are right.
Blue is in a weird spot because occasionally you can bottom deck those Pilafs, and then you're like, all right, well, now I'm out of tools. I mean, on an offensive front, it might not be as good, but like if we can get Videl, you add 40, then you add back this, especially since you're at 1.
I think they made a slight error though. Maybe I could have been wrong. Sharpener only lets the next thing, so they use 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So they could have used 1 and then used the other one after using it and made the Final Hope / free, but it don't matter.
Yeah.
We're going to 140k, 45k. Which we could have made
Pilaf,
more damage if we made if we had a 2-drop Videl to jump into, because we would have had at least another 40k attack coming in. 145 to 6,000, or 60,000. Yeah,
acceptable.
Pretty close. Yeah, you just can never go to 1 against blue because they can just pile
infinite
drive
Pilaf. Like they just get such ridiculous value on that. And you're never going to I mean, you can, right? If blue is only doing a Pilaf loop. But at like no cards in hand but the Pilaf, you're still ending on up to 4 Pilafs with a cantrip that draws another card.
Yeah.
Right? Or Final Hope / which is 20k. Not Gallic Gun. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, not thank goodness, because I'm a blue player and I would love to loop Gallic Gun.
Yeah, if you could loop that, like but Final Hope / is still like pretty close to that value, right? Just pretend you drew a 5k off your Gallic Gun. Just you make it there. You make it there.
You're fine. And where are we headed into? Jiren Vegito. Oh, Khalifa, interesting choice. Maybe it's the secondary Self Awakener, but I don't think Jiren is a deck. Is Jiren? You're telling me you're now familiar with this guy who's gotten God with Jiren.
Yeah.
Is Jiren still playing the hyper defensive style with like top and literally 12 cantrips?
Well, let me see. He has not sent it to me. One second.
Because I think that really, like, I think Jiren, initially, people were like, oh, well, we should just play a bunch of Self Awakeners and just, like, push face, because eventually then our leader flips, we draw, we're 25k, we're hard to kill, and we're pressuring a little better. But then when people realize that Jiren's, like, control tools are so crazy, this is one of them. But now you have to swing into the Vegito.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really interesting stuff here.
But I just think, again, like in these scenarios, I mean, Blue just loves the amount of free value. We got 9 whole energy to work with right now. We have a 40k swing that's going to immediately take this first one. I know not. Oh, we just sorry. 9 was not enough. 10 had to be.
Comboing out 40k. This is, realistically, we just saw like one of the best interactions and the reasons to play a 25k leader is that 40k being the typical like secret rare boss monster number is ignored by just using a super combo.
That's true.
Very high value. But you know what's higher value than 5k static? An infinite resource loop that just never stops.
No.
And this right here, 11 energy like this is the perfect time to use Final Hope Slash.
Yeah. Which we can use at least 4 times.
Grabbing Pan, we're just cycling. Oh, you know what? There might be a double strike here.
No.
Nope.
Oh, wait. Okay, just 35?
Deal a damage. Maybe try to kill with, say...
I mean, we can still do Goku loop. Okay. Vegito's also very good.
And he'll make himself a 60 on the next attack.
Yeah. And,
50. If that's a super combo and a 10, Jiren can still win.
Yeah.
But no.
But we get to draw 2.
But still, you're now going up against 60k plus the 3 cards in hand,
Mm-hmm. It could still happen, though, I think.
It can.
And if you remove the Vegito, you win.
Yeah, just simply remove the Vegito.
Yeah, just give it the minus. Savior of the World. I don't know why they printed that card. I'll be honest. That card seems a little...
I honestly have thought about including it in Zamasu. Because I could just charge it at the beginning of the game, and then at the end of the game, it's a free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get to a free 40k base. You get to 45 with it if you have your 4 drops of Zamasu out. Yep. Very good numbers. Very, very good numbers. So
it's not bad, I suppose.
And Pilaf, of course, is 1 or less, and it's an Earthling that costs 0.
What? You say it ain't so.
Yeah. It's believe it or not.
There are a lot of 0 cost cards in this game, but all those 0 cost cards are just conditional big numbers.
Yeah, they are.
Instant Kamehameha was... I still think there's an argument for things like Instant Kamehameha as like a one-of, because you just want to throw your opponent's numbers off sometimes.
Yeah.
And there goes my camera.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. There's too much Pilaf for you. No, oh, wait, thinking.
I turned it off to try to go back.
Oh, there we go. You're back. You're good.
We're chilling.
All right. Let me see if there's any other games to watch. We have about
look at that list again.
20 seconds left. 20 seconds left.
Can I sort by leader? I probably could, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Sort column A to Z. Let's do that.
Man, I'm not this is the weirdest flex, but it's crazy if you just go to battle viewing list, like just the general global public public room finder, and I'm running an event because I recognize all these names that are just the ones that pop up. That's a flex. That's a weird flex, but it's one.
Hey man, you're important to our space, to our community.
Yeah.
Content creators are a heart and soul and hold up a lot. And good thing I'm not one of those.
Let's see. He paid 4 mana for 40k in late game. Yeah, from one card. Meanwhile, any other deck, if you were playing like a 5-drop,
4K vanillas are like viable.
Yeah, it's that's the issue. It's the fact that it's all generated off one card compared to like late game. There's just some decks that just I have 6 energy, but I have nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, you will always be able to use all your energy every turn if you own peel off. That's what's breaking it to us, is that it's so flexible that the option select is really good for blue because there's just so many different 1-drops you can get into that it fixes a lot of different situations, which I think is the main the fact that if you ever have plays that leave you with 1 or 2 open energy, you can always add a 10k. So yeah, black doesn't do as much. I mean, we have Hercule, but they balance that card to not grab Hercule. So if Hercule could grab Hercule, like Pilaf could grab Pilaf, which the condition for Hercule is greater and the card pool is smaller. But he has a harder restriction.
But I think it's also one of those things where we have to recognize that the way that Fusion World and most Bandai games right now are being designed is that cards don't have like specific text. They are not going diverse enough with names or anything or traits to make it so that way these cards don't just get better with time.
Sure.
Right? Like the only reason that Pilaf would not be playable within probably like 10 sets or so still of power creep is if they simply ceased printing Earthlings.
Yeah, but even then,
but they're going to keep printing them.
If they could never print another Earthling card for the existence of this game, people would still, if they had room for it, play 4 copies of Pilaf because they
just for Pilaf,
just for
we
Pilaf
do it in
itself.
Goku Black.
Yeah.
We do it in Goku Black.
Yeah.
We literally play 4 Pilafs and then the 4 Mais, and we go, I don't know, if I see Pilaf at the end of the game, it just wins. It just wins sometimes.
Yeah. And
for literally no other reason.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the card you get off from Goku Black 6-drop and play off Goku Black because it's just the value is there. Also, Chanthor with their raid for 17. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it.
Hey, they've raided me before. What a nice guy.
I hope you're having a good Tuesday night. I do know that it gets pretty late on the East Coast, or the Mid Coast is where from day I love the Midwest. I'm not calling the Midwest mid. I'm just saying it's in the middle. But
it is.
I appreciate you guys being here. So thank you. I think we're about done with round number 2 though. And so we will be getting ready for round number 3. I'm also going to sneak in some dinner.
We're looking
real quick.
at 5 rounds?
6 rounds. 6 rounds. Yeah, since we did have the 64 players today.
Oh,
so.
You're having me up until midnight? I'm going to be up at 7?
I mean,
oh my god,
this tournament's so hyped that you're going to have a hard time falling asleep anyways, right, Dane? You'd be hard-pressed to find you in bed anytime before 1 a.m., so.
I've, work's been a little tough.
Oh.
I've been up at like 6. I know. I finally got one. And then work's been tough.
Yeah.
I've been up at like 6:45 every day.
Man, don't have a job, complain. Get a job, complain. There's just
there's just no winning. Golly.
Nah, just kidding. Well, I'm happy for you. But we're running a tight ship. We're gonna get ready for round number 3. We're gonna take a tiny break. We'll be back. Let us know what leader you guys want to see. We pretty much have seen everything, except for. We pretty much have seen all the new leaders. Daima Goku we saw just a little bit,
briefly.
But we'll see what leaders are left. We should have 16 players undefeated too, so we'll go do that. We'll be right back, and we'll see you guys in round number 3. See you then.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I get the first word this time.
You did. You got me. You snuck it. You snuck it in. We've got for you guys round number 3. Ignore that big old 2 that's going away. We have this is table 2. Both players are undefeated. 2 leaders we haven't seen. Again, there are so many different viable leaders right now. It is, I would say, near unprecedented for card gaming with only 5 sets.
What did One Piece look like at 5 sets?
Newgate. No, that was up to set 4. We had like Sakazuki, Enel, and Purple Luffy, 3 new leaders.
Okay. Pokemon wasn't that way. They were just starting. Here Comes Team Rocket. Yu-Gi-Oh was on like Legacy of Darkness and spent its entire first 10 sets in Tier 0 land.
Yeah.
Masters had maybe in set 5 like 4 or 5 leaders, maybe.
Yeah, with 1.5 liters banned.
Yeah. I don't know enough about Battle Spirits. Hey, UA. Nope, it's still more than UA. I was gonna say, because like UA's got. I don't think it's as. I don't think the JJKs and Code Geass are so much better than Bleach and Demon Slayer. I just think people are not playing correctly. They're using the other decks' philosophies and not applying the new ones. But that's neither here nor there. I think you're right that this is the most diverse a set 5 has ever been in terms of leader viability. Now, we are staring down the barrel of the last 2 sets, I'd say.
Yeah.
Biggest issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Triangles or squares.
Yeah.
There are just a lot of matchups that you sit down and you go, oh, I've lost.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is kind of one of them. With an asterisk now. Because Yellow now has a main board answer to, not that there is a sideboard, but a main board viable answer to Jiren. Because the Frieza Secret Rare places in drop rather than KOs the Jiren SR from set 2 or 3, you can actually remove the Jiren without doing double final explosion, which is pretty cool.
And we are playing the Frieza. Not every Majin Buu deck, I think, is playing it. Also, this is just kind of a bit of a stare down, which I guess I didn't know in lore how big Majin Buu was compared to Jiren. But we passed.
I guess it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like when we look at Gohan, who's like quote unquote normal size, Super Buu like towered him.
Sure.
But you're right. I didn't think it. Jiren, he's just wide, and so we want to believe that he's also tall, but he's just like the same height or slightly.
Well, during the Tournament Power arc, they use a lot of low angles to really.
True, and it's not like Dragon Ball is the king of consistency for how tall someone is. Can anyone tell me how tall Krillin is? Because if you look at the art, Krillin is 3/4 of a Goku. And then you just look at some of the promotional art for like Super and some of the animation clips, and you're like, "Oh, Krillin is half of a Goku.
Mm-hmm.
He is literally half the size." I wish that animation had Gotenks somewhere in it.
Sure, right?
Like the little the creep up, you know what I mean? Like
I do think that like outside of like Android 17 having Android 18 just show up, there is like a little bit of more like fusion stuff they could be doing, but it might just be like down to the assets they have to do that or not.
But I mean, come on, they're gonna make a Gotenks leader, right? Like,
yeah,
like it's not like the model's gonna go to waste. It would just be additional animation time. So, Jiren's hand is puny, and this is ridiculous.
This has been incredibly one-sided. It is. You would.
And it wasn't even a turn ago.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that you would be surprised if you told me like a month ago, like, oh yeah, Buu has the potential to just wipe Jiren, just completely unheard of. Yeah. Oh man. And so then we got to use this Bibbidi to draw a card. We're going to use our Majin Buu to be able to pop the Bibbidi. They have to discard a card. We draw a card. We restand our leader. Another 20k attacks coming in.
That draws.
Brutal. Yeah, because this is our first turn of it.
Oh, and then you always get to start with the 20 first, and then you go into the Super Buu.
Yeah.
Yep. So what, you turn on a power and then combo a card, sure. And then, but the problem here is that now the Buu is not in rest mode, and if the Buu is not in rest mode, it's a hard pressed time for Jiren to remove it. Because I don't think you really want to drop Secret Rare Goku here.
Yeah,
I think you want to save that for a little bit later.
But we end up playing it. Maybe we feel like we have to. I don't know. We have 13 cards in hand. That Frieza's going nowhere.
Yeah, like even at -2, and then like there's just no way. And like the Buu is still gonna stick. So even after they'll finally hit you. I think that's the right call, right? This deals a damage, whereas the Frieza swing was just going to net a super combo.
Yeah.
But you're also giving Buu more ammunition to wipe the floor with you.
Yeah, I honestly I don't think Jiren's like out, but man, it is looking pretty scary.
Grim, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a very solid chance here that Buu just ignores Jiren next turn and literally swings every attack that has got into the Secret Rare in some way.
Yeah.
Right? Whether that's like if it has the new extra card that gets 25k for 1, or the Frieza comboed with like a 10k. You just want to make sure that you're getting that little bit more value.
There's the stun, so it is it's no longer in the board essentially. Actually, it is. It's important because you can't get double striked, but
yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. Yep, it's true. I don't even think about that effect on Jiren, to be honest with you. It probably will lose me a game one day.
Yeah. All right, we're just tunneling in 25. Yep. Taking the 1. You could play like a 1-drop and pop the use the effect. Search for a 10k, I suppose. Yep. The move Majin Buu, Majin Buu. Discard a card, draw a card, restand an energy, and play your 5-drop.
Those are searchable, huh?
They are searchable 10ks.
And they are playable off of
anything that plays the Majin stuff. Yeah.
Huh.
So who decided yellow was can control?
I don't know, but it's why I'm a yellow player.
Like what happened?
Interesting. Jiren's now awakened, and the hard card draw is gone.
Yes.
And we are now at the life card draw of the game, which is not good at only 5 cards. When you have like 13 cards in hand, or like 11, you're fine because you can still resolve like a Vegeta. You can take 1 or 2 hits. You can protect your cards. But at this point, you're just going to start bleeding 1 card, 2 cards per turn. Pretty hard to retort and like put up an offense when your opponent has 13 cards and has a card that is very sticky. This Frieza just doesn't go anywhere.
It does not. Everything in the barrier is just wholly unremovable in this game right now.
Yeah, there is simply no like. Even in the original, there were like, cards that got around choose.
Yeah, but you had to spend essentially your entire turn to do so. More. Yeah, or just break your combo game.
I think a lot of people would, right? Like if Zeno removed it, like the 6-drop that we currently have.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting dynamic to have, though. Gotta say. And then Frieza. Are you attacking with Frieza? No. Okay. I was just doing the thing. Draw, discard, or the restand. The 30 restand. That's a good call. There's another 5 plus the top. Just brutal. I mean, there's I don't know what else to say. Like we just watched a matchup that was a thing that the Buu player at Nationals was saying, I got lucky because I did not run into this deck. It is the reason that they were able to top was that they dodged this strategy. And now we are watching it completely flip on its head simply due to the fact that 30k is a big number. 25 who? But also you just have an answer to the one card that was threatening you, right? And it's not even like a gotta have it. As soon as you've played it on turn 4, it's now basically there for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And it's safe.
Now, we still have to close it, though, which I don't think is going to be difficult. We do have to make sure to get the numbers right. Jiren can be still very tanky as, like, this 25k with top out, right? And
but now at this point, it is a numbers game. We know that Jiren has access to 6 cards, right? The 4 in its hand, the 1 life, and then the card it would draw. But we're still just so far. An energy absorption stalls 1. So maybe a way. Do we have another way to stall the other?
No.
That. I mean, that just puts out a body, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. This is the reason. So yellow did not get much of a GIF in card pool, and I've seen a lot of Majin Buu decks be good without running the Frieza. And I think the reason in my mind for that is the fact that every deck wants to awaken, and is pretty good at awakening pretty early now, right? And because of that, if you get Majin Buu with 3-drop double striker here, you get just so much extra advantage in so many scenarios. It's really hard to defend on 3 because of it, because they put so much pressure down. Because you get 2 20k attacks, 2 30k attacks, and a 35k, and you're taking this 25. Brutal.
That.
Oh, 2 5ks?
Oh, 5s?
Sad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just 35 game.
Yeah, if you have... You just need to get to 85 at this point. So if you have 5 10ks in a hand of 9, you win the game with this double strike here.
GG.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the main reasons. Like, not necessarily Buu, because not every Buu deck is playing Frieza. But I do think that every other yellow deck that exists is playing Frieza, which makes it such a hard matchup. Blue can get rid of Jiren, very easily. Black sometimes needs like a little extra with like a Pan play, or like the 2-drop Sun Goten, I think. I can never remember which one. But yeah, this will be enough. Yeah, 115.
For those unaware, the reason that the Buu player is playing that 4-cost Majin Buu vanilla is actually due to the new Vegito SR that locks you out of 3 or less attacks.
Yeah.
Because you can still play the 4-cost off of the double striker. And so you can actually go, all right, cool. For 5 energy, I'll put out a 35 double and a 30 single to at least try to put on some pressure through that floodgate.
Yeah, and in worst case, it's a searchable 10k off your Bobbity, right? Which you're playing Bobbity. I've seen some people kind of go down to like 1 or 2 copies, but it is a 1-drop Evil Wizard, which you don't get from your other cantrips. So that's, I think you kind of have to play it every once in a while. But
interesting that is a small form of power creep that the game is like getting to, is like making searchers worthwhile.
Yeah,
like the Shin in U7 is like a rare. The Bobbity is very close to having its full value.
If it could find the 5-drop Majin Buu, I think that card would be you would have to play at 4 copies. The fact that it bottom decks your 5-cost Majin Buu, and I mean, you're not used to card games where you shuffle. You're used to shuffling after you fail a search. In this deck,
bottom
decking it can be
brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
Ruthless.
Not good.
It is weird. Like I understand the purpose of it, but it is one of those ones where that's, I guess, just how they're going to justify it, is we'll give up the consistency in order to. Also, I'm sorry, is that a Vegito on the screen with 7 life?
It is. I'm glad you asked.
It took me a second. I'm like, okay, cool, and then I saw the number 7. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. How did we get here?
Right, but like against other.
Sorry,
decks,
it's not Vegito. It's a. Well, I mean, it's a 6-cost Vegito, yes, and then the Goku leader.
Yeah. The high school leader, no less.
And we are continuing to saying that any amount of cards in their hand is too many. So
is he going for deck out?
That's not too crazy. doing against blue if they have Pilaf in loop is a little crazy, but
and if they're playing some amount of Zeno, I don't know, maybe I'm a crazy person. I have used Zeno to not deck myself out several times, where you just like peel off, and then Zeno them to the bottom, and then those 2 extra cards is all it takes.
Oh, but we didn't play a Broly or Cell, so we're not removing this outright. How are we getting rid of this Vegito? Oh man, the answer.
I don't think we are.
Yeah,
I think they're just like
that better not be the answer. That's a rough.
Like cell. Well, they can use like cells to get out here, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna add back another cells, I'm sure. And also, everyone that's watching, this is why you play 2 Zenos in your blue deck, no matter what. This is look at all those cards on board, and the lab has continued to gain value.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, there is a part of me like, man, this deck is kind of sick to have like an infinite value engine towards the end, and kind of have like minor infinite loops with putting like an Aandroidd card, like putting the cells Kamehameha in your energy with the lab, getting it back with Roshi, drawing a card off of it. Like that's just cool value. But not having a way to get rid of this 6-drop Vegito seems dire, and we are losing 2 more. We're probably getting rid of what the
Hercule
and the Roshi.
Yeah, the Roshi, because it's just a more dangerous card. The rest mode. What was the card in rest mode?
I don't recall. It's gone.
Also, that's
matter.
a super combo in the Angel or the Halo Coos player.
You are right. They charge a Videl.
Bold. Interesting. And then we're looking at peel off loop for the rest. Make everything a 40k.
Well, you kind of have to make it a little bit more than a 40k, right? Because you get 2 cells and 1-drop Broly thingy.
Yeah, I mean, you should make it more than a 40. There's 50.
Getting what, the peel off back, I guess. All our own Vidal to save it, I guess.
Red Destroying Blow. And a 10k.
And we charge the thing.
Yeah, I mean, charging it, that tells you all you need to know is that you're just not going anywhere. That's all that's saying. And then we go 40 face. Gigantic, maybe? The one of?
Yeah.
1 or 2 of? Yep.
No, brother, sister.
Or brother, sister in a 10k, sure.
Yeah, or a 5k. Yeah.
5k.
It's a 20k, yeah.
Not even enough cards in the drop area to ramp.
Not even comboing the peel off. Interesting. All right, we are saying that. I mean, we are putting ourselves on a clock, right? Only 50k. All right, super combo. I mean, double super combo gets us there too. Our 10k and Bulma.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're just staring at 10 cards in hand, right? Like that's. Can you? How many cards? Is that 6 cards in deck on the Vegito side? So they can't actually deck out here to get the bigger number. Do we know? You can see how many
they just
super
used
combos.
it. They just used it. So
they just used the Mill 5.
Yeah.
That I guess I didn't see the animation. I was definitely not distracted by my shiny Zamasu cards.
I don't see any. If I'm being honest, because I doubt that there's been a reason to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did we bottom deck the lab?
You can bounce the lab with Vegito.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Okay, that is
nasty now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like wildly unbelievable here. Holy cow. Yeah. That's something, I tell you.
I mean, now we just win in 6 turns. Oh, and then we have the So Junior to get back the Earth. Yeah, we're just not attacking for the rest of the game now.
Yeah, you just have to buy the 6 turns, which, you know, if the builds that I've seen play somewhere between 3 and 4 of this cell, so that way you can openly charge and discard it and such. And that leads to a very different game state, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, but now we can't even like attack with our leader. Like we were just dead over like 5 turns. And like Goku doesn't usually run any self-awakening, right?
No. I don't think there's any cards that pick up the life on their own.
And any other color in this situation, it's just a wrap. But blue,
blue might not be.
Here's a casual 50K.
Oh, yeah. Final Hope Slash. Add back that. The problem is that you're still only making like the 2 attacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're still only making 2 viable swings here.
And even this one, you're just going down to 1 because you healed 1. Yeah, Earth Destroying, draw 1 or ramp another 1. How much time left? Just casually wondering. 11 minutes? Oh, we're fine.
I mean, and you know, even if that had gone through, dealing 1, not 2, we're just this is exactly the game I was talking about though when we people were not in the room when we were talking about the time limits for games. Like these are the games that you just need because do you think Droids deserves to lose here? No, like they're very clearly ahead, but like the style of gameplay for Blue made it so that way they cannot even play the game. Add back to Videl so they can do it all again next turn. Hope that this does enough damage.
Yeah, and you just do a full send. They have to attack into you, which Goku would love an extra card that they don't have to draw out of their 4-card deck. That'd be pretty tempted just to take this. Oh, but we're not. We're going to use Earth Destroying Blow once again.
I mean, it's still not ramping up. Oh, is that? Oh, that was 16, not 12.
Yeah.
The blur is just enough for me to not be able to do it. All right. Okay. I mean, you're not dealing any damage. 4 cards in deck. You know, with a leader swing, that's 2 turns. It's really not asking a ton here. And that's what makes it, I think, the most scary.
All right, Goku down to 6. If any Bandai devs are watching, whenever there's an animation, if you could make it so that this menu doesn't pop up every time, that'd be great. I would appreciate that. You know, who doesn't need to ramp more?
Look at these. I mean, this is the unfortunate part about this. Is that blue and green, and this kind of only happens in like blue and green. Occasionally, red decks can kind of be at this stalemate, but this is just a very common outcome of blue and green, where their resource loops, being drop area based, make it so games actually have an infinite, like a near infinite outcome.
Yeah.
And this is a clearly unwinnable situation for Goku, but there's just not a card in the game that exists that can answer this situation.
Now, I will say, Androids are getting pretty close to 0 cards in deck, too. We got 11. since we did extra amount of draws and cycling around. But
all right, Zeno right here. It's the closest thing you got.
Zeno would be insane here.
Come on.
Just go. You're putting more cards in their deck. Foolish.
I mean, that's
they're gonna last forever. I think it has. I mean, do you want to give them back a Hercule and a Cell Jr.? No, probably. Like,
I mean, but at the bottom of your deck, though,
you're gonna get there eventually. Yeah, that's fine.
No, because the game will be over after the next turn.
Well, the next Gohan. Oh boy, yeah, this is going to time likely. We've got 7 minutes. It took 4 minutes for 2 turns. That's not too bad. But yeah, I think most people agree. We're at the point. Oh man,
like this is.
I don't like these leader swings. To be honest, they are a little dangerous.
Yeah, you're speeding up the clock. But this is. I mean, realistically, you know that you're on that clock, so you're not gonna win that route. You know what I mean? So I think it is very fair to go. Please just have some dead cards. And hope that like a 35 gets through or something. You know that it's not because you can see that they've got the board to deal with it. But you just hope and pray that that's not the case.
Man, I would bet to say anyone who's been playing blue from set 1 with the same sleeves, you're gonna be able to find those peel-offs.
Who would be doing that?
You'd be able to find those peel-offs just based off wear
right
alone.
Off the top.
Yeah, man. These 4 cards are worn way more than the other 46. Weird.
Nope, I got you because when I played in the LCQ for the event, I changed over to Fury.
Oh, okay.
And therefore, it's the Trunks cantrips that are very that because I played Trunks Youth for the LCQ because it was shiny. Not Trunks Youth, Trunks Mini.
Yeah. I see. I understand.
You see the vision?
All right. And then a 10K off the Hercule. Yeah. I mean, if you have another 8-drop cell, you just win, right? Like, you go to 3 life. Your opponent has, like, 1 turn left.
I mean, but the hard part is, like, what do you... I mean, they're just playing out for formality. Like, Aandroids could basically pass here.
They really could. They really could. And likely have a good spot. Because they can't attack with Leader next turn. Leader systematically can't attack. I mean, you do have like a bunch of peel-offs, right? But brutal game to jump through.
And I've been on the receiving end of this, where as a blue player, you're just like, oh, if you don't take any damage, if you're not playing a 60, which, you know, like Angel or Halo Coup, I'm not going to do that. I can't.
We got him. Someone clip it. Send it to him. He said it.
Halo Coup high school plays a much cleaner 50 to 52, right? Because they want to see the sharpeners, they want to see these cards quickly. They are needing to run a lower card count total. Whereas if like you're playing something like Vegito or Zamasu or honestly, really any other blue deck besides maybe, I'm sure there's some Trunks list out there that's pretty cool with like 52, 53. Like you can have 10 more cards here and they would be the ones decking out, not you.
I will say, I think that this is, of the matchups that exist in this game right now, Goku is one of the few ones that don't run any sort of self-awakening, that give Aandroidd 17 and 18 enough time to set up like this. And also self-mills them enough to make this a possibility. I think this is a rare scenario. I think like every other deck would be at like 4 life turns ago.
I feel like blue is just as a whole doesn't run that many, right? Like Vegito runs self-awaken, Goku Black does, but like Zamasu doesn't.
No.
I mean, I guess the 3-cost Goku. And given enough turns, one could self-awaken with Goku. Also, I think you just do the noble thing and draw.
I think so too. They have more cards on board than you have in hand.
Like, and every one of those cards but the Cell has combo power.
Yeah.
Half of which are 10Ks.
And you gotta do 2 damage this turn. Like, I think like this board right here, if you had like full combo 3-drop Goku with CU, I think Android 1718 would still be able to survive it.
Oh, not even close. Like, honestly, they have probably 2 Cells Earth Destroying in hand. I say Cell what's it? Earth, what is it? I call it Earth Destroying because
I do too. I really wish it was called that. I understand why it's not, but I think it's just called Earth Destroying Blow, I think.
Earth Destroying Blow. Thank you.
I think that's what it's called. Let me double check. I don't know. It's got Cell. He's doing a Kamehameha on it.
And then what, you just like peel off,
Yeah.
add back the... I mean, and he's still at 2. Like...
Yeah, you still need to do 2 more damage, and you can't attack with your leader because you lose the game immediately. Yeah. I think they realized that.
Wait, why did you concede rather than do the draw?
That is true. They should have done the go out in flames, but
in style, yeah, right.
But I can understand it. It's just a frustrating game at the same time.
Yeah.
Just,
and I mean, especially at the end there, that was like we watched 6 turns of futile effort.
Yeah, yep.
Right. But like honestly, with the Vegito out like that turn was already kind of like, is this ever gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, can you make this happen still? The advantage loop of the Cell Junior plus Hercule plus Bulma's plus everything just makes it so that you can't always do anything there. You're just sometimes at the will of like the timer, the matchup.
Yeah, I will say, like, when we talked about, like, you know, there's not a lot of like matchups that are worse than like 60-40. Setting up like that might be one of the fewer ones, though. There are also 2 older decks that, you know, aren't seeing as much play either, so that is important.
And you know, I didn't see the vanilla Videl out of the high school player, and that is one of those cards that over time, or once the 1 cost got printed, the new one was like, oh, this is kind of a game changer in terms of, hey, we can push face every turn with like a 1 energy 20k that we can easily protect because of peel off, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that the other 1 energy 20k is like in red. They can't do that. They can't just protect it. Like they just have to go -1 for playing the card and then -1 protecting it from a leader swing. But blue is in a position where you can actually kind of protect that card and get a lot more value turn over turn. But it just wasn't like, it didn't line up this set.
Yeah.
And that was definitely going to be a problem.
Yeah. So I can definitely think like that, seeing that. I don't know, like Angel Coup, I think, was like a deck that runs peel off has always been, you know, verge of being overtuned, right? 1718, as mentioned, has been relevant since set 2, specifically also after the removal of you know, Top Coup. So I think both those decks are definitely, they have the chance to go near infinite more than any other decks, as we've seen as in this past game.
The drop area stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's honestly it.
Yeah,
it's
the lack of restriction on finding your own pieces, and the fact that, I don't know, 1718 just being such a plus card on while ramping too is pretty, and searchable like 3 different ways. So because of that, I think that's why people are. I'm not trying to like rotate decks out just because they've been around for a while, but it's pretty clear that these decks have been. The decks that have been relevant because of peel off in 1718, not necessarily the leader, but because of its prevalence in those leaders, kind of thing. So, also,
and I think that's an interesting point, right? Because like 1718, I think most people feel like it's the second one that does it.
Yeah,
right? Like it's not like, oh well, my opponent ramped the 1 time for 1 and it's game over. It's the double ramp into like Nappa.
But also like late
3.
game, just being able to present a 20k attack for 1 energy gets pretty obnoxious. And the fact that it's a 10k, sometimes it put cards into your energy so you can find them later with Roshi. Like the list goes on. So Also, real quick,
He's
Dr.
spitting.
Derpy, with 12 months, thank you very much for the full year. You get your 1-year Eggman dice. Make sure to reach out to me on Discord, and I'll send them to you this week. But thank you very much, Dr. Derpy. Really, really do appreciate it. So, all right. Sorry, Dan. I know I cut you off a little bit.
No, you're good.
What was the next point?
I have forgotten.
We had just 17, 18 looping, just being good. Good cards are good cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the repeatability of it, and that is something that I don't think Bandai has had to deal with previously, right?
Yeah.
Games like Naruto back in the day did have some drop area recursion, and those decks were typically very powerful. But as we get to modern Bandai, Dragon Ball Masters and onward, 2017, none of these games have drop area recursion until Fusion World to this extent, to my knowledge. Gecko Moria can recycle bodies.
There's mildly
but not
one
necessarily cards to hand, right?
Correct, but the cards that you get can add back. Like you get the on plays from the cards you get from Moria. So two different decks kind of abuse it. One, you just play 3 bodies and remove 2 of your opponent's bodies, which is really good for 8. But are also there's a yellow and black Goku, which essentially turns your doubles your leader power on defense, essentially is the best way to say it, but also offense. And then you get to cycle and draw cards and stuff while also presenting an 8-drop 9k that you also are able to give KO protection and establish a blocker that has KO protection, like barrier, essentially.
What happened in that game from...
I think you'd like the deck. I don't know if it's staying for much longer. They announced another restriction list next month, but if you ever want to play the deck, it's very good. It is honestly, it is the most Dragon Ball deck because you need to go down to 0 life. So you run all these cards that self-awaken you, which is not a term in that game, but I persist it into that game.
Yeah.
And then you have these loops and like you have like a leader ability that's present. You would actually like that deck, I think. It is the most Dragon Ball deck that they've made in the game. It's very good.
I mean, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I know.
I just find it so hard to play games that do not have. Why can't I just play some cards on my opponent's turn, man? I'm not asking.
Hey, we've got kind of negates. We've got more negates than Dragon Ball does, so that's something. But there were like Lilith loops in Digimon as well. There's actually
here's the thing. Okay, but Lilith loops is one card that takes most of your turn, right? Aside from like the one infinite combo that I think got addressed.
Kind of. There's still kind of another. There's a trickier way to do it. That's still kind of dumb. But the main infinite combo is gone. Yes, you're right. Also, yes. We're jumping into another game. We're going to round 4, but you can keep talking.
No, I honestly, I'm chilling.
All right, I have to find the game, but round 4 has started, so I'm set up.
I suppose.
All right, talk about Lilithmon more. I know you'd be hard pressed to do so, but go for it.
I in set 1 of Digimon, I did play Piedmon Lilithmon.
Yes,
I really, really did. Purple was like my jam for the beginning of that game, no doubt about it. That's what I was playing. However, I didn't like opening, or rather not opening, my what's the card?
Your rookie?
Not rookie is one thing, but it's the Tamers.
Oh, sure.
Because rookies are like, they're already kind of
you make sure it's your first card in security, your opponent hits into it, you get a bunch of value, easy peasy.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't think about that. Why didn't I stack my security?
Yeah, easy peasy. No, jokes aside. We've got for you guys table number 2. It's going to be a battle of Gokus. We've got the Namek Goku being run by Nicholas, and then we have on the other side the Daima Goku from FB05 being run by Josh. I think we saw Josh earlier, I believe.
Yes, the Purple Flame in the mirror match.
Correct.
That's what made me kind of embarrassing. That's what made me go, yeah, okay,
yeah. Well,
but,
I mean, it was the edge in the mirror match, right? It's what won him the round. Surely
it was.
Surely.
I mean, hey, I think effects are cool. I've got maybe Red Lightning on mine. I'm not sure. I go back and forth between red and black and white and blue. Very cool color combos, but
yeah.
So this is not okay. So Daimaku does not have a ton of defense, right? There's probably some number of top end like SCRs that can protect your life, and it looks like he's playing Glimpse, so maybe that can kind of help be some defense.
I think
So you might be a little vulnerable.
When we saw him play earlier, there's definitely playing more of a mid-range deck, right?
Yeah.
I think
but here's the thing: is that if you play a Glorio or something against Goku here, what is Goku going to do? That is going to deal like 3 damage, cost 4 cards, and when you're not seeing new cards every turn, like, and look, he knows to swing.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And I think that's like the best way to maybe approach this matchup is that if you catch them, you have to put them down to 1, and then you hit them when they're at 2 the next turn. Because I don't think you can hit them down from 3 to 0 very easily. And you really don't mind that they're stalling out awakening you either, because then that just makes it harder for them. But they have the Nappa here.
That applies a good bit of pressure here, but green kind of only, aside from Warm Greeting, green's removal is entirely based on
KOing.
So like that's really dangerous that like the pansy still gets value even if you manage to remove it.
Yeah, it's probably staying on the board for the majority of this game, I think. Or it's
maybe the whole game.
Yeah, which for ending the game scenarios, just paying them with another 20k, could be very, very valuable. But honestly, I think we're going to get to a point where it is literally we're just staring at each other. We're just going to play out some bodies, not really do anything about it, because neither of us really want to kind of like awaken the other leader. Like, I don't want to attack my Daima Goku into Nameku, but there's also this weird thing. If you awaken Namek Goku early, then they don't get their card draw anymore. Yeah, and you can really turn that off too.
Eventually, you can really start taking advantage of their lack of hand size.
Yeah,
can be very powerful. And they take 1, and so like this is a situation you probably can't afford to attack with Pansy here, for fear of that playing out a double striker next turn by having like a 2-cost Self Awakener, and then the proper card. But I'd be interested to see just another Pansy Self Awaken themselves.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we are taking so much life though.
You think so? I feel like you want to get awakened so that way you can apply that pressure to Green Goku, right? Because eventually they're going to have to start giving you 2 cards for your 30Ks. And whether that's like Glorios that are duels, or you make one of these pansies a 30, or you play the 1-cost pansy that becomes a 30. Anything that just like threatens 2 cards out of your opponent's hand instead of 1 is just such huge value, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know, red doesn't have a lot of... Red is probably like the worst defensive color in this game right now. I think that's pretty understood. And so because of that, if you go down to 2, then you're in a really bad spot.
Yes, I can agree to that. But are you so afraid, right? Like 2 super combos gets you to a like winnable position, for lack of a better word. How am I trying to phrase this? Like if you have 2 super combos and then your opponent's like, all right, well, that's not great for me, but I am still fine to swing double strike once or twice without threatening lethal. Or rather, I can take double strike once or twice without threatening lethal. That can be something that's really dangerous for Green Goku, that they have to commit all this time, effort, and like cards in hand, the life grab, putting out a double strike that might just be like super combo 10k out. And then you're now at, like you said, 3 life, 7 cards in hand, no card draw anymore. Whereas red is going to keep drawing those cards, and these pansies are going to gain so much value at that end game where you start poking for singular cards, because Goku hasn't played any removal yet.
Yeah, but here's my issue with taking that life is that now we have to 10k out of this one. I think we should just stay at 6. Like taking one off one of the pansies, sure, but if you have these 2 active things, their leader's going to attack into your leader. They're going to put you down to 5 anyways. I think that was
but now next turn they'll be able to play Glorio instead of like another Self Awakener.
I guess so. I guess if you really want to turbo out the Glorio, that makes sense.
Because the Glorio is dual attack every turn. That's something you really have to think about.
Yeah.
Right? Is that green is not going to have a way to remove it unless they're spending multiple cards on it, or if they get, what's that extra card, the one with Gohan on it?
Yeah, you have to get down to 2 life for really any of them. Because we have like the Gohan that you can pop anything if you're at 2 or less life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's keeping them at 5. I think that's fair. And this, again, it was kind of what I'm saying. We're just going to stare at each other. We're going to build a really wide board. And then eventually someone's going to, flip the token.
But green doesn't have a board wipe here. Red does.
True.
Interesting.
And I think, like, honestly, right now is probably our best way to just go in. Like, we pressure them. We make them have to awaken. And then, like, if they want to get rid of the pansies, they're letting us draw 4 cards, which is absurd when you think about it.
I just think these pansies are just going to grab so much value versus green. And they're the reason that even in the starter deck Daima, I've switched over to Pansy as my secondary Self-Awakener.
Yeah.
Instead of the Khalifa, just because incidental 20Ks, if your opponent doesn't put the specific type of removal into you, then you're just always in the clear. And that just feels so ridiculously powerful.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, when I first saw this card, I'm like, man, blue's been such a menace. They can remove this, right? There's also like black could have like Great Ape Vegeta, and both those things still exist. But man, they just feel like way more menacing than I originally thought they were going to be.
When KO'd effects on a card that cost you most of a turn is, I think, the problem, right?
Yeah.
Is like the Pansy is not designed around like, oh, this card is like unremovable or too difficult to get rid of. Pansy is primarily a way for Goku to just have a different Self-Awakener, and in exchange for this random potential, like even just like if let's say it's a coin flip on if a Pansy gets to draw you 2, you're just giving up a 0. You're just putting a 0 in your deck that you could, right? And since you have charge, you have discard outlets depending on the situation. And that right there, we are looking at, folks, as to why you should be playing the starter deck one, because Nappa would not be on the board if you were playing starter deck Goku.
That is true. They do get to ramp twice, which it has to come from hand, right? So it's not a broken effect, but it just means that you don't have to charge for pretty much the rest of the game since you cap out at 7. You could, unironically, you could just play Goku for 7 next turn and just call it a wrap and just be like, answer him.
Yeah.
All right, we're going 20.
And this is the beatdown that we're kind of talking about, right? This is Pansy, and Goku are all getting to attack here. The Goku attacks first, threatens like a super combo or something.
I think we take this one and then we just do double 10Ks to get out of these next 2. Since you want to be able to draw when attacking.
Draw, yeah.
All right, thinking. I mean, we wouldn't go down to 1, right? And we haven't used our leader ability yet either. Or did we for the Goku?
No, we have not yet used
it's just
because it's Daimon.
Yeah, because it's awakened.
It's a natural 30. That's pretty nuts. It's a lot of pressure.
All right. Yeah.
Now you just get to go 30 again.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong. And this is the exact moment I mean, right? Like Goku's gonna have to flip now. Yes, Goku is at 2.
We could
Goku
super
is
combo.
now flipping with.
We could super combo right now.
Yeah, but like with 7 cards in hand,
Uh,
flipping and never mind, just at 1,
yeah.
right? This deck does play a very different what's the word I'm looking for? A different double striker.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I'm sitting there because I'm like thinking about the U7 Goku, and I'm like, why do I think about that? It's because they're playing a different double striker that can get that buff. So even if Goku regens this turn, that could just be game outright, right? Go double strike, give it 10k, dump. We have not seen any super combos out of Green Goku, I don't think. Maybe
Nope.
there was one that I missed earlier.
We charged one from hand from Krillin earlier, which is telling you something. We've also charged one of the 7 costs.
That I wish I could tell you why, but that's an interesting play.
I appreciate
the charge of the 7 cost makes sense. That's a 0.
Yeah, thinking for a moment, but deciding to get out of this 30k. If we have double strike with Destructo Disc, that would be very painful. Right here.
I mean, even if that's the case, right? Like you go to 2, but then you're just killing them next turn.
Yeah.
Or trying to, like, potentially trying to.
And I mean, you can get rid of the pansies, but then you're just giving them more cards.
Yeah. And like a draw 4 here, then there's no way you're dying. I mean, I guess it's possible. DA does play slightly more, zeros than starter deck DA or even the other red decks as a whole, just because you're on Secret Rares, Double Strikes, 4 Pansy, 4 Glorio.
Yeah, and we're just deciding to go for board. Just taking it. Okay. Just saying, you know what? If you want to hit me any more times, you have to give me card draw, whether it be the pansies on KO or taking a leader. It from the leader. Right, Chaozu. Stopping a pansy attack.
Pansy.
Which I guess is fine.
Yeah, for 1, it's okay. The question is does Goku have a way to remove it very easily? That extra little 5k does matter.
I know you love starter Goku. All right.
I was actually thinking about Whis.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking about Glorio plus Whis, but I understand.
Yeah,
how that sounded.
Of course.
Yeah. No. I'm thinking about starter deck the Whis 1 drop here because he has aged surprisingly well. In set 1, I didn't feel like he was that great of a card. I thought he was okay. But every single set, he's gotten better and better. Like at Nats, I had 3 in my deck, and I really wished I had 4 all day. Just because opening it, like if you go second and you open it and then you just put it down, and every single turn you're just killing off their cantrip that was going to get them out of an attack or deal with something, you're just gaining so much value.
Right. Well, we're going 35 into 20. This is essentially their last gambit to be able to win this turn because they need to be able to get both these attacks to go in and then double strike, right? Which isn't unheard of. My least favorite thing about Daima Goku right now is that you are kind of forced to run a lot of 0 combo cards. Like this Pansy, Glorio, you need a double strike. We know they're likely... I think they're playing the 6 cost Secret Rare too. Like there's just so many good cards, but because they don't have any combo power, they're just so dead in your hand where I think most decks can swing at you 4 or 5 times a turn. All right. I think you kind of have to swing in the Pansy now, unfortunately. All right, getting 2 Earthling cards is good. Balma and Chaozu. Oh, you can just play Chaozu again. Never mind, Chaozu's broken. I'm telling you, it's so good. It just being a 1-cost Earthling is really what. And even if it's not, if we ever get a blue and green deck, right? It's just having that as an option for Pilaf would be crazy.
If you guys want to play a fun game at home, take the did they specify color challenge.
Yeah.
Just go start reading cards and go, huh, they didn't specify color here.
No.
And you'll be shocked at how frequently cards do or don't. Videl specifies color. Pilaf, no color specification.
None. Also, you'll
Seal,
notice
that was a very funny interaction. A lot.
Something too. You guys might not even know this. These little dots in the top left is supposed to specify specific energy. Not that any deck uses them right now. It's a major thing in Masters, and it's really interesting because I do think like Nappa I think is 3. Yeah, it's 3 green because it'd be broken otherwise. I guess if you could splash into any other deck color, but. I think eventually they'll make multicolor leads. Masters had them, even though it was just one time 5 years ago.
That's honestly all it takes.
Two of them were banned. 2 of them were really good, and 2 of them were just okay.
Hold on.
Actually, sorry. 1 was banned. 1 got another card banned. 2 got eroded, and the other 2 were good in comparison.
I think Kefla's was just bad, but
sure,
definitely
okay, fine.
Like we're all on the same page that like multicolor leaders are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
In One Piece, they are balanced around being literally at half of their life total.
Not half, 1 less.
Sorry, yes, 1 less.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Verbiage, tough, and like that's something that matters, right? That 1 extra life is so generally not worth the access to an entire another card pool. And this game is very dangerous because so few cards have more than like 1 or 2 specified costs.
Yeah. And in Masters too, like you can be a monocolor leader and you can play any color card that you want. There's no restriction. So also it looks like Josh thought about it long and hard and decided, you know what?
I am gonna play
Glorio. He might not win me the turn, but it's gonna put Goku in a really bad spot. So we'll see. I mean, we're gonna go 35k twice. One of them you can get out of with the cards that are currently on board with the 2 10ks and the 5k. And then what's the follow up? Yeah, less life in this game isn't bad. I think if they make multicolor leaders, you'd have to be like at 6 life and then you awaken at 3, maybe kind of thing, which have kind of existed for Masters, but that leader also got kind of banned. So
I mean, we awaken honestly, to 6 life basically every single game. Yeah, it's really just that multicolor just opens up a lot of cans of worms, and like we said, the game at home is we just don't know. Like, what kind of what is even the word I'm looking for? Like, we don't know what kind of balancing that even looks like, right? Like, I haven't even begun to theory craft what it truly looks like to have this situation come about.
Yeah,
I've only thought about it in the how does Pilaf work way. You know what I mean? But in theory, there's probably way stronger things that we just aren't thinking about, right? There's a lot of like gain energy marker stuff that if every color suddenly got to always had an energy marker to play their boss, like, is the game just over?
Yeah. Like, just for example, 1-drop Kakarot, right? If every deck in the game gets access to that, like what becomes
Blue, I love going first because I just go Kakarot, and then as the game continues, I just take whatever I've got. I bottom deck cards, so I'm actually able to take my life. And then suddenly, every single turn 5, I'm dropping Zeno and clearing board. Or every turn 5, I'm playing Goku Black and starting this really big advantaged engine.
Yeah. Also, we did our first 35k with leader, making it. We played the 1-drop Pansy, gave it to our leader, comboed with the Pansy, so 35 into 15. They comboed out of it without a super combo, so we got another 35 going in, which they can. If they have another 10k in hand, they can get out of it with cards on board. But only 6 cards in hand for Goku. Daima is a little scary. I don't think we've used 1 super combo.
Agree, yeah.
But
I mean, we just have to see like another Hercule that grabs back to Jiaozu. Otherwise, the Pansies would take over the game because it's not incredibly likely that Daima dies next turn, but they are put in such a bad spot that then they die on the following one.
Yeah, and there's the Chi-Chi.
Super combo plus the Hercule on board, maybe? Or do you save the actual 10k?
Probably the 10k on board. I think that's fine. And then what you send your other Glorio attack into Nappa, likely, just to force one less 30k next turn.
That's probably the mindset here is like, if you leave like if you don't have a good 10k in your hand, you have to out combo, and now you get to save the Hercule for a Glorio on Nappa swing, and if he attacks your leader, you just combo out or take it. Sorry.
Yeah, and so this is
and
actually
hope that they don't have the double strike the next turn.
Kind of scary for Daimaku, right? Because you only have 6 cards in hand. You're at 4 life, but there's already essentially like what 4 30k attacks, and if you go down to 2, you lose the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, depends on if they have a Destructo Disc or not.
Sure, if you lead with Destructo Disc double strike,
yes, that is
you like that will be really relevant. Yeah,
because since we've only seen the one super combo, there could just be a situation where in the mid game, Daima's plays were kind of just average. You know what I mean? Like they passed with an energy once. They didn't have random plays. Matching the Hercule here is really obnoxious.
Yeah.
But definitely a smart play. Like if they just have a bunch of or a bunch of super combos at this point, then hey, triple super combo gets you out of that Goku plus, the 65, or double super combo and a 10k. Yeah, you got to save the Nappa because it's your push here. I hope you have another one of those, because that 10k combo plus pick up a life is really valuable if you're going to push for game. Like you're actually going to try to push for game.
Yeah, I mean we're only at 2 life, so we don't need to take another life. But I agree. Like,
if you're the draw, right? I think you just go face and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, we're not getting any new cards. What you've got is what you've got. So if there's not a double strike, that might just be.
Which is not unheard of, right? We haven't drawn a lot. They were thinking a long time about comboing one of the Balmas, which could have been used to search for the double strike. And even though you're already like you draw a lot of cards at the beginning of the game, not seeing the draw late game just for the cycle, not even the card advantage, is kind of rough. But
choosing to charge, what is the card that helps you if you have 7 or less energy?
It's only the leader heal. So we're just saying that we got to win this turn no matter what, which I think is fair.
Yeah,
and we charge the 0 combo, so
potentially an attack though, which is
true. That could have taken a card from life to hand to get another draw, but at 2 or less life could have popped the Glorio in case you get to like a 0 cards in hand for both players, but you've got 2 or something. 30 to 20. Yeah,
the Daima player is really thinking, I think, about if it is worth taking this hit, just because, like you said, if the double striker is there, like I don't think you're doing anything about it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like the super combos would do better in your hand to stop the double strikes than to just like, oh,
yeah, that's not great. That's not a good look.
I mean, maybe it's a feign. Maybe the last 3 are all super combos.
I mean, we know the 4th card in our life is a super combo, right? We'll just draw this right off the top, I think.
Right here, yeah. You guys heard it all here. Eggman stacks his life, and he puts his super combo on his 4th life every single game.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I can take them in any order I want, right? So, like, unlike any other... Actually, I can't remember Fusion. I don't think Fusion World's normalized it. I think you can take whatever one you want still.
I think you can take whatever you want as well.
Digimon,
I think you're going to get a judge called on
One
you,
Piece, big no-nos, and Union Arena your opponent chooses for you. Which is the biggest brain play.
Right. Straight nonsense. They get rid of shuffling so that way they can speed up individual game time, and they're like, and we're going to add an extra decision that makes people feel really, really bad about random.
Yeah. Hey, like you chose it. It's not my bad. All right, we're drawing 2 off of our non-Earthling spaceship.
Daima's at 3. I mean, this is the, in theory, current last attack.
Yeah, that's currently presented without any energy involvement.
Yeah.
But we can still play our double striker for 3. There are still ways, and it's just chipping cards out of hand. When again, we're playing red, where most like there are so many cards that we play that just don't have counter. Our combo. I was so close.
You were you almost made it.
It's man, if they both didn't start with C and O, I think I'd be a little bit more even. But oh boy.
Okay, so 25. I don't know, man. Like this is just the you're playing to an out that is literally just based on if your opponent has it or not.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're like, you might be overthinking, right? Of like, because if he doesn't have it, let's say Goku doesn't have it, the chances are is that the other cards in his hand are either removal or like blockers or like just little 20k swings that, hey, they're just gonna like put him into your Glorio, try to clear off the dual attack, and then survive at 3 life. Super combo right there.
That was a really good super combo. Either that was the 4th card in our life number 4, or they were
trying to hide it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is, if it's another, that's the dual attack.
Disgusting. That is disgusting.
Simply too much.
Yeah. Now we can just do, I think, easy math.
35. If you make that 40.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Restand.
I was gonna say, like, a super combo there. Like, if you just go like if it really was 3 super combos, then you're probably winning still, because the pansies are on board. And that should wrap it up. Do we have like a pudding?
At least 50. Nope. And we do have Destructo Disc. Man, I'm really surprised we didn't lead with this.
Just to put the 2.
Just to put 2.
I get it. Because like if you deal the 2, then your opponent kind of knows what you're like dealing with on a numbers basis, because that is a plus 20. Are we comboing all zeros here? Oh, a 5k.
And a 5, yeah.
I do not understand the purpose of that Aandroidd 18, but I hope that I can be shown it one day soon. Mandatory life pickup, give something -5 on play.
Yeah, it has to be 2 or less life, yeah. So the only thing that cares about being at 7 or less energy is the healing effect from Goku, which I think is fair. It's to prevent you from playing like the same way that we see Aandroidd 17 play in that previous game, right? Of just going infinite off value. So
infinite value, yeah.
That's fair. And generally that it doesn't. You're so aggressive, you would never get to more than 8 anyways. So but that is one of our 4 finalists, I guess, for top 4, since I think we entered this round with 8 undefeated, if my math is correct. So we've got,
that was round 4, right?
Nicholas with Green Goku. We've got Diego currently winning at, let me see if I can jump to table 3 real quick before I start.
Hopefully there's a blue deck somewhere in the midst.
Let's see. I accidentally.
Oh, it's getting late for the Midwest and East Coasters.
The night's just starting over here in LA, let me say.
It's 8 p.m. That's just late dinner.
Literally, that's what I'm snacking on, some late dinner right now. Did I type that in wrong? Nope. Is this the right game? Yep.
Diego.
Let me see.
Let's see. I can go look and see what Diego's playing. Let's look at the name. How did Danny end up doing? Is he doing okay?
I think so. Here, let me try to find this 4th game.
Diego is playing Vegito. Blue. We found the blue. Is there any yellow in Top Cut?
There might be. We haven't really seen Janemba today, even though I think it was the most brought deck of the day.
I think it reads really strong. Is a lot of it, But I think yellow still kind of lacks the removal tools to compete. Like if your opponent puts out a 5 cost, like you just basically have to turn over turn, hope that you can stun it, which is a little desperate each time. Like you do kind of just want it to be gone and then dealing with it, even if you're paying 1 more, or like the card is, you know, not a 10k or something like that. Just you need to kind of be on top of maintaining their actual board state rather than stalling to it. Especially because the stall cards are not especially offensive, right? Like the Goku is a 25k, which is good, but it is not going to immediately start swinging or doing enough damage in that sense.
Yeah, being able to like pressure Zamasu for free is nice, but
yeah,
not as doesn't get to do both. Which there's a lot of cards I think in this game that are able to do both. Every game I'm trying to jump into is ending as soon as I do. So I think we're pretty much done for this round. Let me see.
Small break.
Yeah,
I can run to the bathroom.
Yeah, we can do that real quick. I'll see what 4 leaders we have left undefeated into this one. We'll get that set up and we'll go from there. Also, do you know how to get a spectator ticket? Yeah, it's through the TCG Plus app. I'll be there too. But yeah, it's through TCG
Going to
Plus.
Battle Hour.
Yeah,
Hayden's we're gonna have a slumber party.
Bandai Card Fest Worlds in Japan.
Oh,
I'm not going to Battle Hour. Battle Hour is coming to me.
What's that like? I've forgotten what it's like to have events anywhere near. It's like 6 hours. I drove six.
One day of the month to justify living in LA is not enough for me. Let me just say the ratio is not in my favor. So, anyways, we will get ready for round number 5. I'll let you know what's left undefeated. We'll get that set up, and you'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. All right, we are back. We have for you guys round number 5, and we have 4 undefeated decks. Do you know what they are, Dane? Do you recall?
I do. 2 green Gokus, a green Aandroidd 17, and 1 blue Vegito.
That is correct. So 3 green decks and 1 blue deck for this. Despite, I think, like yellow still being the most represented, it's no undefeated yellow decks after 4 rounds. So, but we'll go for
I
it.
wonder if that is due to a matchup situation that I'm unaware of, right? Like this is still a new meta, so like it's possible that like maybe green Goku into Janemba is really, really bad for Janemba.
Yeah.
Right? They stop drawing, and then the repeated 30Ks become too much to deal with. The repeated 25Ks become too much to deal with. And so maybe that's something, but I don't know enough yet.
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing,
I
I've probably played yellow the most, if not second most, for this meta. And I think the biggest thing is that all the yellow decks that kind of exist right now, whether it be Buu, whether it be the new Janemba, both of them want to kind of awaken as soon as possible, right? Which is generally good. But I think that both blue and like our one Vegito deck and our Goku's and Aandroidd 17, they all have access to really cheap double strike. So you get to go down to 4, and then you have to defend pretty much every attack that you can. And then if you don't,
because sometimes,
because sometimes you can just get blown out by them dumping everything on a double strike that's easily over 100k, right? So because of that, I think it's something that yellow might have to adjust for, and can be a little bit tight for these decks that just awaken so quickly. Double strike's the strongest it's ever been, and outside of maybe Topku with Rebrian, who could play it a little bit cheaper, but regardless, it's just very, very strong. So we're going to go to table 2, though. It's going to be Vegito versus Aandroidd 17. I don't want to watch a Goku mirror match of the green ones until we have to. So
I requested to not watch Aandroidd 17. I tried to save the viewers. Remember me as a hero as I die.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm just tired of seeing this deck. Since set 2, it has just been the best green deck.
Yeah.
And that's realistically it. And I think the Earthling package was a very ingenious way to extend that deck's like lifespan. You know what I mean? Like the extra little push that it needed. But I do fear that the play style of the Earthlings is not especially conducive to how we want to be playing card games.
That's I think is fair. That it like we saw like a little bit of it. And it was essentially this matchup. I'd say the difference is that Vegito awakens more consistently and can hit for 40Ks, which is easier. But you also have the potential to deck out even faster. So I think Vegito being potentially more aggressive though can be the clincher in a matchup like this though.
I completely agree.
So it looks like I'm at the table waiting for them to enter, and then we'll be able to get into it. But if you were to say who do you think wins this match, do you think it's going to be Vegito or Aandroidd 17? And chat, you can answer yourselves.
I think I would have to see the Vegito build.
Sure.
I think a 7 or less version is not going to win this matchup. But I think if you're just playing the all-out Vegito, like I'm jamming 5 drops and 6 drops down your gullet every single turn, I think they will be able to start dropping those repeatedly, and there's only so many Brolys and cells in that, as well as in the fact that those Vegitos get really large, right? These 60Ks or like 40, 50, 60, kind of in the range. It depends on if they're playing like that new Vegito extra card, which is probably not very good, but I don't want to be the one to be like, oh, well, it's definitely not good, because then what if I'm wrong?
Yeah, you got to be careful, right? Like, when I do One Piece stuff, I can say with a little bit more confidence, like, this card's probably not good because I've never seen the Japanese text on it, right? But for this one, it's so open. There's excitement. You're allowed to be more opinionated at the beginning, which is fun, and then it's crumbling down when you realize that you and your testing group were just testing nonsense.
just like all completely out the window.
Yeah. They're like, that's cool. Anyways, I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing for the last 3 sets. Can it answer that? No? Well, all right.
Oh, dude, that's the best. When you test a new set only against the other new decks.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this deck feels great. Like it's winning every one of these matchups. And then it just turns out that it's the best of the pile of poop.
Sure. You're like, cool. Anyways, I'm going to play Aandroidd 1718. You're like, oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, the 4 undefeateds left are 2 Namek, 1 Vegito, and 1 Droids. I also will be putting up the top 8 and maybe some X2 bubbles on my website tomorrow, so you guys can check that out. I'm also just really curious to see what takes this, but honestly, I wasn't expecting Green Goku to be in contention. I mean, it's going to be in the finals no matter what now, right?
I think so, right? That
yeah, the other table is
it's
the mirror match. Yeah,
and so someone always makes it there. I mean, Green Goku is one of those decks that it reads super duper strong, and then you play against it the first time and you see its weakness, but then as soon as they've adapted kind of to that weakness, you're like, oh, well, actually, does this actually like do anything?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like is that? I don't know. That would be my immediate thought process, is like that the deck has already adapted to its weakness in some really interesting ways. I don't know if you've seen the builds that are playing like Future Gohan, and then
I have.
When they're at the end of turn, they're at 2, and they just go, all right, well, now I'm going to free play this Gohan. It will kill whatever threat you played this turn, and then it has protection, right?
Yeah.
And Future Gohan 5 is a very painful card to be dealing with. So that's certainly going to be interesting. But we've got an entirely different matchup here. We've got a quote-unquote stall Earthling androids, right?
Yeah.
The build popularized at Nationals by Raymond Sierra, and then kind of built and mastered further into that style, right? His was kind of a mismatch of like a couple Earthlings, a couple regens from like set 1 cards, mashed together, but now we've seen a very different one. This Vegito build kind of looking like a 7 or less, right? We see the Marin, which only draws when you have low hand size. We see the Zamasu, which is a card that helps you maintain advantage without giving up, without giving up, or without gaining cards in hand. A lot of the 1-drops in the game are kind of designed to like replace themselves, and so if you're at 8 or 9 and you play them, they either don't do anything or they just draw the card back, and that isn't really helpful either.
Yeah, and we've been talking over a lot of this, but it's something to say like how much like resource generation Vegito's been able to do. It's also been very good at like never leaving anything to attack into besides itself, which has been very good. Been able to balance a lot of value. We have 3 cards into our trash right now, which isn't a lot, or sorry, into our drop, which isn't a lot right now, but we are getting there, and we will be able to, once we get to 20 and start hitting for 40s, it becomes pretty remarkable.
That honestly, that is a very weird dynamic that this game has that has not been present in. I guess it's kind of present in One Piece in that every leader can be very big, but most of the time, we're put in positions where the leader itself is kind of always its base level threat of whatever number the designers have said this is the baseline. But in Fusion World, there's just a lot of leaders that go bigger. Like their entire effect is to just be bigger number. Aandroidd 17, Blue Vegeta, Blue Vegito, all of them are just kind of, this number's a little bigger.
Oh, and this
Bardock
is interesting. This might be a different build of Aandroidd 17 that we saw earlier. In the sack that like we're seeing Double Strike 17-18, we're seeing Broly being charged, so maybe it is a little bit more aggressive than the build that we saw earlier. I can't remember if it's the same player. But yeah, it looks like
the Gohan coming out, even if it's just getting rid of the Bulma.
Yeah, my guess is we're just going to attack here and then just pass. Just leave this 30k uncontested. Oh, okay. Now you're really tempted to attack with this Gohan, but I don't think you can. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, we're attacking with Zamasu.
Honestly, though, that this does make sense to me
Mhm.
because you are on a clock against Android 17. As crazy as it is to say, that resource loop is better than Pilaf's. It just takes longer to get going. Pilaf is like repeatable from turn 1 onward. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, we've already given them one target to attack into. We've got Earth Destroying Blow. Nice. It's not able to get any of its additional effects because we're not at 6 energy, but it does get us out of the attack. I know there was some designer when they were making that card. It's just like, hey, should this ramp unconditionally? And they're like, nah.
Yeah. Honestly, the fact that there's a card that costs 2 that ramps period is truly crazy.
It is. That's as recurable as this one is. As an Aandroidd, as an extra card, you have like 7 different ways you can recur that same card.
Mm-hmm.
We are at 6, so if we ever get to the magic other side of our leader, we will be able to start attacking 30k, which is almost as good at 40k.
Almost as good.
No, 40k is broken sometimes. We do have to like get there, which we're not quite there right now, since we do have only 5 cards in our drop. We'll get to 15 after we awaken, but that is a little silly. Oh, we do have a Self-Awakener. We get 3 more cards into our drop. So we only need to put 3 more if we want to be able to use our... and one super combo, I think, got hit out of that.
That is something that has been very frustrating about this new Vegito deck, has been the self-mills being so unreliable for hitting super combos, since there is no recursion of super combos, and since I feel like super combos are more impactful in this game than in previous games that have systems like that, right? If there was I know there are a couple cards in Nami that are just like, if you just like see that extra defensive card enough times, then you win, versus not seeing it, and that makes you lose the game.
Man, we're going 50. I guess to get to 7 or less, which means
at this point, right? Like now that the leader is 40, you are just constantly pushing damage, right? Like having to resolve Earth Destroying Blow this early on every single turn is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. But Blast, that's what I'm saying. I had this discussion with someone else too. The chances of you drawing super combo and the chances of you milling super combo are essentially the same. So if you think of it in the same way, like you just don't draw it, it's likely. But it still feels bad, right? It feels bad no matter what. And obviously, if you mill 4 super combos, it's just like, oh.
I definitely had a game earlier today on Digital Client before we had started commentating. Like, my Vegito opponent played this Goku on 2. He milled 2 super combos and then 1 other card and immediately just scooped. Like, didn't even want to play the game.
I don't want to play anymore. Hey, you know what? Sometimes these matches take like 30 minutes. And just to say, you know what? I'm not taking the 10% gamble that I still win after 20 minutes. I'm going to just win 2 games otherwise.
But like that's not good. I hate that it's just like, you just lose so much percentage chance of winning by not having super combos. You know, that kind of stuff. I lost like our local anniversary, whatever, the 1-year anniversary tournament. I lost that because in the bottom 8 cards of my deck as Zamasu were 3 super combos. And it's not like, oh, they're at the bottom of your deck. It's like there were 8 cards in my deck. I dug through 52 cards. And
that's your issue. If you were playing only 55 cards, you would have found them.
You're right, and then I would have decked out in every other match that I played that day.
Nah, that's okay. You found your super combos. You don't care about that.
Except that I didn't, and therefore I didn't get the Goku, the one that stole the the Godra art.
Yeah. Also, this is table 2. Both players are undefeated. Next round will be our finals. It'll be the winner of this versus Green Goku. Yeah,
because that is a mirror match over on the other table.
All right. We're going to get the Earth Destroying Blow back to our hand. But I would say, so it's what I would just kind of conclude on this is that it is generally about as likely to mill super combos as it is to hit them off of your effects like Roshi does right now. Roshi or something like that where it's a random card off the top to...
You think so though? Just based off of it, if Vegito mills, let's say 15 cards in a game, right? 10 from the leader, maybe one time a Goku or something, or one time an 8-drop. That's a quarter of your deck. So, like, statistically speaking, you should be milling one super combo. Whereas Roshi, maybe there's 4 or 5 effects like that per game. That just, it's simply like the numbers don't speak to be the same. You know what I mean?
That might be. It depends on like if you're running
third.
50 cards or not, but I think you're probably a little bit more right. Roshi hitting a super combo is a little bit less likely, but
like it's like it's a baseline expectation for Vegito, and I think part of his balance is the fact that he is going to lose those. However, it's just one of those ones where you worry that if this is Blue's identity moving forward, right? Well, we've left the 7 or less, so now you do get to play with cards in hand. That's cool. You also get to play every game with 1 or 2 less super combos, just because.
Yeah, just because. We're gonna start with Sickle though. Get rid of 2.
Get rid of those 4 drops. Yep, excellent. No pressure from them if they decide to attack.
The peel off has begun.
Is the droids gonna try to deck Vegito out because they didn't attack with the 20k?
I think that they might be trying to switch to that, or maybe they're just hoping it for more, I guess, defense. But yeah, 45, so you can't cleanly get a Earth Destroying with this. I mean, you can in 5k with Roshi, but it feels kind of bad. I likely would have taken that one. And just hope that the Vegito 40k would have been enough. Man, just presenting so many different 40s. Oh, sorry, 50s. This might be a little bit extra number-wise. But we'll be able to do another 50 here with playing Peel Off.
And I think that's really the goal here, right? Is like if you can get above that 45, then you're feeling really good. Because you like the problem with cells is the Earth Destroying Blow is that it does immediately replace itself. Gallic Gun. Interesting. 55. Even better. So that's not just Earth Destroying Blow, it's Earth Destroying Blow and a super combo.
And I mean, it's hard to keep track of Earth Destroying Blows because we get to recycle them a lot, but I think they've activated 2 or 3, but they recycled one off the Roshi, so.
Right. I do think that, you know, it was probably a wasted opportunity to not attack with those 4-drop androids. I understand that maybe they're combo power defensively, but if you're just wanting to like pick at your opponent's hand, that's always going to be your best absolute way of winning.
And the Savior of the World really just invalidates the boost that you get from 1718. They play a Cell here though. That's going to do a lot of damage. That's going to be pretty impactful, I think. You're going to be able to have
going
3...
back up, killing off 2, and then like you only have, you know, you can kill the Gohan who's a bigger number and the Videl who's the Reject.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so being able to
like
get that pretty nasty.
Passing with only 3 is a little scary, just because, right, like if somehow a Vegito 6 comes down and it's like you're staring down Vegito 6 plus, say, like a peel off, that's still a lot of power that you're looking to get out of. The thing is that you're at 3.
And we just discovered another Earth Destroying.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's so crazy. This advantage loop is really strong. And honestly, this Cell card has aged very well.
It has.
I think it
has.
is.
Yeah.
I think on release, it read pretty strong, but the people were like, but 3 energy is just simply too much of a cost. But now Green has the ability, after receiving like Roshi and Hercule, it now has the ability to stall. that amount of time to make cells -3 energy, just not an actual cost.
Yeah, that and the lab. The lab was just always so kind of mediocre, right? Like, sure, you got like quote unquote infinite energy, but other decks
What
are
did
just
that do for you?
yeah, was that actually going to do for you?
And this is that answer.
Ooh,
Goku Black. Okay.
I do. Ooh.
Gohan free play.
Get rid of the cell. That's actually a good amount of pressure.
That's pretty good.
Like
and then you
play.
make the Gohan a 40k again with the Pilaf.
Yeah,
I think you would have to hope that you're not dying.
That's fair.
Like,
as someone who lives on this mortal coil, right? Like that's always
people,
that's always
some people
a fear.
really forget that green will just like their leader is a 30, they have a 45 on board, and then they are threatening double strike off of Goku, double strike droids, just playing a Broly for dual attack, any number of ways to deal the last 2 damage.
Yeah.
But no, it looks like we're gonna go for the potential deck out win con.
Perhaps. I mean, if they have like another cell, if they have another 8-drop cell, I think that will be the best
probably.
way.
Yeah.
But we have 1 on board, 1 in life, 1 in energy. I don't expect us to play more than 3 copies. 4 would be a little absurd, so we'd have to find that 3rd copy.
$45. You go. See, here's the problem though. Is like, are you protecting it just for it to probably die to whatever they're playing?
Yeah.
But I think if you don't protect it, I think they're allowed to now go for Hercule loops, and you're gonna lose because now they've got too big of a board. Yep. Whereas, and this is a checkmate situation of if you had saved the Goku Black, you force them to play the Broly, force them to play the Cell. But now they're just going to go for a crazy advantage loop that you're not going to be able to keep up with no matter how many Pilafs you have.
Yeah, because now, we just drew like 60k of defense, and we have 6 energy open. Earth Destroying, being able to draw a card is absurdly good. So it's the same thing, you just don't lose the value. Now you could deck yourself out here. Oh, do we have the double strike combo?
Maybe. I mean, you just left it. But even if you have the double strike, you're not going for game here, right? Like, you're not killing. I guess that, and then just triple Pilaf.
Yeah, but that's
Bottom
not a lot.
Power. It's not very much. That's maybe if it's like triple Pilaf plus like the 15k card.
Yeah.
Or like Gallic Gun here, maybe. Final Hope. Okay, that's 20.
Pilaf and the 0 cost is 15 though, which is just better. Than 20.
And for those that are unaware, Pilaf add that's 105.
If we were at 100, we could be 110 right now, just in case.
How could you be at 110?
If we instead get the Final Hope Slash, we got another Pilaf into 5k. That's 25 instead of 20 for 1 energy.
Okay, so they're already at 85 with 5 cards, and they're gonna potentially draw here.
Yeah, double Earth Destroying. That will get them out already. But at the same time, there's no way that they didn't have another card to get there. And now they can just go. I mean, if they have their own double strike.
If they have a double strike, I think you just go for game.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think you just sit there and you go, all right, well, I'll just kill your board and then see you next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, it's so repeatable. Just with how many different ways there are to gain the advantage. It's very, very scary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's like outright wrong to just go. I mean, you can clear board for free as well, right?
I mean, that's probably the sign that there's a double strike or a Broly or something. Because then you have to be handing them super combos to be able to get out of these.
Yeah, but this is also a scenario, right? Like, you've got 10 energy, you can play a double strike for 3, and then you have all these cards that can add additional combo power.
Mm-hmm.
If you make a 60k attack, they simply cannot get out of that, even if there's 2 super combos. It's double strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I think what won in this game was to be able to do the double 17-18. That let them ramp enough to be able to stabilize. If they only found one, I think they would have been a turn behind, and it would have been tougher to be able to get to this point. But because they were able to get double ramp for essentially 2 energy, that's what kind of broke this game in my mind.
And there's the double. Doesn't remove anything, but at best you're staring down 60k combo power. So
yeah, well, currently you have
on board,
55, so
there.
double super combo. No, okay.
Do you have any cards in hand?
Any more cards that can draw you? I don't know. Hercule presenting 30k combo power for 2 energy is pretty insane too.
Yeah, on a 10k body.
On a 10k body, yeah.
Like in hand, it's not dead. Like the extra cards that are 1 for 25 already feel ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then
But I think our Diego did their best. They made it a pretty close game, and they had a way, they had an out for it. But double super combos or destroying blow being able to be recycled like it can be is insane, and I definitely see why like Android 17 is still present in this meta. You know, a year later almost from its real debut. Yeah,
I do think. I wonder how many. Someone would have to go back and look. How many 40 to 50k attacks were comboed out of, and if there is any other deck in the game that can even get close to that.
Yeah. There were
right.
At least 4 or 5 that were comboed out of with like 2 cards and 2 energy, right?
And that is just, it's another level of wow. How can some decks compete with that?
Yeah.
Right, like that is simply an unbelievable amount of strength.
Yeah.
And removal. It's like, or defense in terms of combo power, and that is something that is maybe worrisome on a power creep scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really something you can just like undo. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like ban an effect that's really strong. That's like a combination of different cards that are all working together to be this obscene combo loop.
Yeah, I agree, right? It's really like if you look at any of the cards individually too, you'll be like, you know, there's a little bit of value I can see, but there's not like anything I think that's too amazing. Like if I was to say like, well, obviously 17-18, everyone's saying that card is I think like that is really the best way to stabilize that loop or get into it is to ramp as much as you can early game, and that facilitates it like none other, which is really strong. Also, we've got another game we're jumping into. This is an X1 table 9.
X1.
I don't know what they're playing. Let's find out together. This could just be
Zamasu, right?
Could be. Oh, it says I can't view this battle, which means they likely just finished. So back to us. Likely just finished. I think we're done for this round, which is crazy.
All right.
When we have 9.5 minutes left. That was a quicker round. It was especially with a 17 loop deck.
I mean, and I think that's because Vegito was pushing so hard right away, right?
Yeah.
Like if Vegito wasn't pushing as hard, then the setup turns on both sides take a little bit longer.
Yeah. I think you're right though. I think they could have grinded out for like a little bit more value. And like the 40k swings were like a little bit troll. Because of that. You really want to put them in positions where they feel bad about using their 2-drop events, and I think that are extras, and I think that they were in spots where they're like, oh yeah, I would definitely use this one card.
They didn't make it very awkward.
Yeah, they could have made just more awkward numbers. So like if they were like more 30s, I think would have made it weird. Like you're still going like 1 card for 1 card or 1 card for 0 cards, I guess, because they recycle, but. I think that could have made the matchup a little bit tighter in that regard. But I think we're all done. I think there's table 19. I don't think either player showed up. So that is there.
Came out. Neither.
Also, there's one player. I don't know if they showed up or not. But regardless, and they've been just scooting around. But
just hanging out.
Yeah, I think we're just going to start the next round. So it's going to be let me see. It's going to be 17-18, which is going to be Jonathan, and then it's going to be Nicholas on the FB05 Goku.
Okay.
So I don't know what that matchup looks like. I think this is a matchup where 17-18 might have an issue stabilizing when they're potentially as aggressive.
The 25 duel.
Yeah, 25 duel is
like that.
pretty nasty early game if they are able to establish it. And the fact that there's not a lot of removal early game for Green Goku is a bit tough for, I think, Android 17 as well. Which when I played Android 17 and FB04 is because I played an aggro deck that just made a lot of attacks with Buu. Like Buu loved playing at 17-18. Unless if they didn't, which it made it hard for them to stabilize. You had hand destruction to make their hand size small, even though they almost always had a 0 cost that they could a non-combo card.
It's still a card out of hand, which means it's not that they don't get to charge the 0.
Yeah, exactly. And you really you just make it so it's very difficult for them to set up their defenses. So I think Goku's going to get this in my mind. I think it's in that one, but
I would generally agree. I think the 45, just being able to present that, is going to be very tricky.
Mm-hmm.
The 45 number, right, doesn't give them an easy out no matter how hard they try. Yeah. There's always going to be at least a -1, whether that's from board or from hand. There is like a true exchange of power there, and that's not something that we necessarily are used to seeing.
Agreed.
I don't know. That one's an interesting one because like I could also see where Android 17, like there's not enough removal in Goku that 17 just like builds the wall and says, all right, but every turn I'm putting out 60k worth of combo power.
Yeah.
Right, between the Hercules, the Cell Juniors, the Earth Destroying Kamehameha, just literally everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's just like Green Goku does like lose a game of value, right? But I don't think it's going to get.
It might not be a game of value, like you're saying. I think.
All right, they are set up. They're getting ready for round 1. Table 1, round 6, not round 1.
Are we getting to it?
Yeah, they're just setting up their tables.
But yeah, I think Mirror for the Ages.
Yeah, Green winning this event was not on my my bingo card. At least like not double finals. Green winning the event, yeah, but double finals was
a little different from what you were expecting.
Yeah,
fair enough. I think Green Droids was still in my mind. I felt like people were going to flounder on a way to make Goku work.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like we talked about. It's a deck that reads very strong and then plays a little weaker in that sense, and I think that's really dangerous.
Yeah, and also I'm looking through it right now too. We will have the total amount of leaders breakdown for this event. But only 4 players are on Android 17. Most common leader, maybe it was Janemba. There, honestly, it's not.
I've got it. A breakdown here. Gogeta had 6. Janemba has 7. Green Goku though has 8. Vegito has 7. And then it becomes a lot smaller from there.
Yeah, but I think the clearest thing too is that there wasn't like there's like tiers, like half steps between them, but there wasn't one that was like generically like easily the best one. And I think it really just shows the diversity. And I think it's pretty. It wouldn't be too off base to say that I think most people who entered this event, if they played all 6 rounds, they probably played 4 or 5 different leaders throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like I would be surprised if you saw a deck more than twice as well.
And I think that's a really generally it's healthy in a different way, right?
Sure.
It's healthy from you're allowed to play whatever, even if you can't prepare as well. This definitely a game that I think would benefit greatly from sideboards.
Yeah.
But that still speaks very highly of the fact that we can't just push these cards through. Because you don't know what you're going to play against, right? Like tech cards are dangerous, but if they guarantee a matchup, sometimes you just have to go for it. And that's just the way life is.
Yeah, and I do think it's kind of as you're saying too, that you have to make some concessions for deck building a lot of the time to just for a more even field. And some people don't like diverse metas, and I understand why, right? Because you do kind of want to know like exactly what your good and bad matchups are. It's
usually hyper competitive players.
Correct.
More about like
correct. Who dip their toes in my content sometimes, and there's just like 7 different leaders viable. Bad game. I need to know 3 matchups and be done for the day.
Yeah, some people really love a triangle meta, guys.
And that's fine. And
Could not be us.
Not me.
Sometimes
not me.
people really like it.
Hey, if I am a good player in the triangle meta, and then I just get like $2,000 every week, sure. Right. Like if I can consistently win. Sure, I understand. I understand why.
But we're playing Bandai card games that aren't One Piece.
Correct.
So, like, the pricing is
2,000 a year.
Only so good. Yeah, right. Like win the Masters Regional $2,000. Win the Fusion World Regional $600.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's a little tough sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't shame them. It's okay to have different tastes.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got our finals for you guys today. We've got on the right, we've got Jonathan, and then we've got Nicholas on the left there with the green Goku, and we'll see which green deck is the best for us today. The newest one or the oldest one? I guess second older. Broly's technically like a week older, I guess, but you know.
Yeah, all the same realistically.
Yeah, and that's kind of like why I like Goku, in the sense that green has had its identity based on ramping, and Android 17 has just been the best ramp. so
it's been the only
green deck, right? Like if you can't out ramp Android 17, then you shouldn't be playing any other deck if your identity is ramping. Which is why this Goku has a spot in this meta, because it doesn't care about ramping. I mean, it loves to do it, but you are more about getting down to 2 life and being aggressive, which 17 you can spec into, but it's not as much of an identity as it is for Goku. All right, we are...
How do you feel about the more recent set of search cards that we're getting?
Where it's just 3, but it can find copies of itself kind of thing?
Copies of itself, or access to super combos is really a big one, right? Like they clearly, when they designed super combos in this game, coming from the previous Dragon Ball game, we're looking at like searchable super combos are kind of like the norm. Yeah, they're not guaranteed, but like 40 to 60% of decks have searchable super combos.
And also for comparison, they explicitly did not want super combos to be searched. Like they had a search.
They made them 7 costs.
They made them 7 costs. In Dragon Ball Masters, they are generally 2 cost cards, which they get
cost 15k power. Like very, very easy to find cards.
Yeah, and because of that, some decks can recycle them, and or there's been a lot of times where it just like strictly says non-super combo cards. But it is a. I think at the end of the day, it's a good move. I think is how I'd end it. Mm-hmm. All right, and we are just starting the pressure. That promo Goku is so good. It is worth going to your pre-release events. You need 4 copies of that card.
I think you could be. I don't know. It just feels like it's because it's on swing take a life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like a repeatable Self-Awakener in green, even in non-Goku decks, is something that you just don't have access to.
Yeah. And that's like we're already here. We're at turn 3. Ramp and pass is not good enough anymore. In set 1, it was okay, but when we have a 15k, if they have Nappa to put us down to 4 life and have a 15 225s and a 30, I mean, we just charged Nappa, so we have another one in our hand. That is gross.
In this 15, I think you have to you combo out knowing that's
you're taking a couple more swings potentially this turn. All right. Now I will say, if you do have like the double 17-18, that feels bad because they can start swinging 30 next turn. But still, you don't really care. I think it has to be...
Yeah, like if you have to combo a card Like that's, you know, you were expecting the card to be removed outright in the first place. So if now you're just getting to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what they comboed?
It was a 17-18, which means we have access to at least another one. Oh, we have another.
We would assume.
Oh, brutal. Just and this is what I think you have to do against 17-18 is that you have to force every one of their cards to be a 10k. And because of that, because you're able to chip them with so many of these 25k attacks, 30k attacks, yeah, they don't want to spend 2 cards to get out of a 25k attack. And we're going to try again. And brother, sister, sure, that gets it out of it. Pure 25k, 8 of 40k. So, fantastic. And they're not going to get rid of these Gokus next turn. They're swinging too.
Yeah, that I think is when droids actually starts losing, is when the bodies get to attack and they maintain pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like legitimately, what do you do? Because these Gokus are both swinging. You have your opponent's leader's going down to 2, so they can drop Goku double strike next turn too. You have a 30k leader attack going in. Best case, you end the turn with 6 energy here, with ramping to 7 with like Earth destroying. But it is this match is looking super one sided. The most one sided when we've seen today probably.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that Buu Jiren.
Maybe the Buu Jiren. Maybe you're right.
That we popped into. It's a very weird combination of cards here that are just so utterly powerful when played perfectly on curve. Like I think this Goku at the end of the game is really strong, but we're seeing that. I mean, just look at this pressure being pushed through. Like, okay, well, yeah, you're swinging 30, but you don't have a way to remove 3 costs, 25Ks this early in the game. You simply don't.
Yeah, and then we are just in like crisis mode. We have to use this Balma to get rid of dead cards in our hand. We have only 3 energy open, so we can only play like 1 copy of Earth Destroying. Like this is, I don't even think we need double strike to pressure. I think we just try to do as many attacks as we can.
Going with the 25s, yeah.
Because we're technically drawing like 4 cards. 1 from each one of these Goku attacks, 1 for attacking with leader, then awakening with leader. Just immense pressure. Oh, and we are getting the brother sister, which means we don't have the Earth destroying.
The 20k is not bad.
Yeah. Attacking and drawing 1 from life.
And now you get to awaken as the leader too.
Yeah.
Man, feels like an insurmountable.
After seeing droids get to like 1 million energy over 20 turns, seeing it be pressured this hard on like turn 7 is
turn 4.
Turn 4, I guess, yeah, with the combination. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's 30, so forcing either that brother sister or a super combo. Are 2 cards. All right, thinking pretty hard about this one. And I think this is a scenario, like we had to combo with one of the 17-18s. If we were able to play 2 last turn and be at 7 to go to 8, I think we'd be like maybe a better spot. But yeah, just comboing with both, getting out of it. Feels bad, but we got to do it. All right, we're going 30 with Goku after awakening. Man, they did a real good job on that animation. It looks sick.
Yeah.
There isn't a Krillin off screen that just got.
And this is the position that you just cannot be against Goku.
Mm-hmm.
This is an unbelievable hand size that they are starting at when awakened.
Yes.
your typical goal here should be like, oh well, if I make Goku awaken while they have like 6, 7, 8 cards in hand, then they're gonna start losing 2 per turn, and it's just a waiting game, right? Stall through what I have, and then try to survive.
Yeah, and both these Gokus can still restand. Yeah, we do these 30s to make it painful.
Just make it
and
awkward number to
worst
combo
case.
out
Let's say we don't go for game, right? We just clear the 17, 18. What can they do for 7 energy next turn? Besides
Nothing.
maybe play their own
can't
Goku. They could play their own Goku if you're not.
dual attack, single strike.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Or not even dual attack, because it's not. You're not a green Goku leader.
All right, thinking here. I think we just go 30, and then if we don't hit, we just hit the Android 17 and pass. We're going the other way around. Oh, do we have the Destructo Disc? If we do, that's likely just GG.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 65
There's
double
crit.
crit.
And then you just dump the 25 into the hand.
Yeah.
How many supers are gone on Droid's
I think
side?
2. Let's double check. Two more cards just hit the trash. 2 10Ks. We've only seen one super combo.
But we can still math this out, right? That the assumption is if they're not playing instant Kamehameha, they've got 60, 80k combo power.
I think 80 is
They get
a
to
solid
100?
high end. Best case scenarios is like 100k. So if you can get to 80, I think you can just full dump here.
Yeah.
Which we run so many 10Ks, so it's not asking for a lot.
60. Are they thinking about?
I think they're thinking about using their super combos at this point.
65.
Yeah, 75, 85. Ooh,
80.
80. It's a little bit of a scary number.
It depends.
But
it's
50. Yeah, we get
nope,
there.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Green Goku, huh?
Yeah, Green Goku, pretty good.
Green Goku cracking the charts.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I've had such a long day. I did not do a prediction. I just did a poll. People thought that Goku was going to win. You were right. No channel points though. I'm sorry. Here, let me open up another prediction real quick. Who do you guys think's going to win? Everyone put Green Goku. That's crazy.
100%. But then again, 0 payout. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
hey guys, quick thank you for everyone that made it to the end of the stream, right? This is the first realistically large FB05 tournament, giving us a solid amount of data.
I will say with confidence, but nothing to back it up, this is probably the largest FB05 tournament the world has ever seen, with 64 players. But
correct.
Yeah, so far. It will not keep that title for very long. Yeah, it is it is the benchmark for larger tournaments, not the status for it. But generally speaking, I know we've been talking about it a lot, but I think this format's really good right now. This game is really healthy. On the client, it's sometimes hard to get card acquisitions, but in person, cards are pretty cheap. It's pretty easy to make a deck.
Cheap, yeah.
Very like the 17 deck that just got second place. It's likely less than $50, like if that.
Oh, yeah, I can't even imagine it breaking $50.
You think it's like $40? Goku would be a little bit expensive.
I think it costs $40 with shipping.
With shipping, okay.
Like,
from Canada.
I mean, like if you have a local store within a 2-hour drive, call, see if they have bulk. You can build all the common and rare out of this.
Yeah.
For pennies, and then
you'll be doing your locals a favor because they're like, finally someone is picking this up. They might have some fusion code packs they're willing to send your way as like the packaging for your cards too. But
there's it's really they found a good balance. I think honestly, both the Dragon Ball and One Piece is kind of on that way. I think Digimon is generally a good one. They've got a couple expensive promos over there, which is really scary. UA, another one where like entry to the game is very low.
Yeah.
Right. Individual SRs very rarely break $5 to $10.
Yeah.
But if you want to bling your deck, those cards are rare.
Yeah.
Those cards are pretty and they look really good. But that's where you can actually like still go even or make money if you pull right.
Yeah.
That's something that like isn't feasible or wasn't feasible in historic for either of these games. Like even by FB03 and before, the alt arts did not hold value. After the first like 2 months of set 1, people went, "Oh, there is so much product out there. We can't keep up," and so cards just became worthless. And alt arts are even still.
Yeah, they're pretty. It's very easy to. There's few cards that are expensive. I think the most expensive card. I mean, secret rares are still sometimes a little bit hard to get.
They went back up, right?
Yeah,
it's the playable secret rares that kind of maintained price.
Yeah, I need
like FB04 and
play set of
FB05
Chile
really
super combos, which was like $80.
Alt arts,
yeah,
right. A great way to do it. Although we'll see if that holds price once Zarbon comes out.
Sure. But I think that this game is super fun. If you guys haven't tested already, it's very open and there's just a lot of ways to play it. So I
brought it up earlier, the amount of viable leaders. You can really just pick your favorite character and be like, I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. So you can really kind of commit to that play style, which I think is really cool. So but this whole VOD will be on YouTube. You can watch that as soon as this ends, so you can do that. Thank you to Dane for co-commentating with me and staying up. I do appreciate, because it is approaching midnight there. If not,
it's 11.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to be later. This was my initial guess.
Yes.
And then it was like, oh well, there's 6 hours. And then the green Goku player Nicholas, he really did his.
He's like, I got to go to bed. I got work in 5 hours, so I appreciate his hustle on that side too. So and then lastly, all these deck lists, not all of them, but the top 8 deck lists will be on my website. I'll probably do a couple of like X2s that were on the bubble that could got into it as well. I'll have all the leader data, and then if you check out the website right now, we do have a bunch of data already for decks that have topped. I also have a table that if you hit God ranked and if you want to be featured on Eggman events, you just fill out a fancy pantsy form and I'll get you on there too. I'd love to see what decks people are playing on ladder. There's just so many different plays that you guys can do, which is really fun. So
now we all got to get to God rank. I completely ignored it last format. I think
when it was the easiest to do it. It was the easiest to do it.
Maybe in gold. I just didn't play because I didn't really want to. And then they said real prizes.
They did.
Real physical
There's
prize.
real physical prizes for,
and now,
for this one.
Every day after work, I'm going to make sure to try to get 2 or 3 games to make sure that I'm just 1 rank higher.
Yeah, I've played probably 50 games. I think I've treaded water and gained no rank after. But to my expense, I've been doing a lot of experimental decks.
I started at the bottom of silver for this one, so I'm at the top of gold.
Hey, at least it's skill-based matchmaking for you, all right?
For
me, it's skill-based matchmaking, which is awful.
I might have a large win streak in a row from silver to gold.
Yeah.
But I just ignored, I just didn't play at all last set, and that was partially due to the economy. That is getting better. We're getting extra packs. The free secret rare, very nice. I was able to.
Sorry. Someone said something that I couldn't believe, but I guess someone bought out all of the Chile super combos. All arts.
I believe it.
There's one listed for $250 right now.
For those that are aware, there's this guy, Hayden Eggman.
It's not me. It's not me.
It's
not me.
Cosplayed as Chile.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
In the past.
Do this. But actually, we're leaving for the night. So thank you for watching. Have a good night. This will be on Eggman events tomorrow morning. See you guys then. Bye-bye.